to qualified institutional buyers or non-U.S. persons under Regulation S. The notes are not registered with the U.S. Securities Act, meaning they cannot be sold to the public without specific exemptions. At least initially, the news on CoreWeave sent that stock down. But where's it at right now? Let's have a quick look. CoreWeave, baby, up 4.17%, but still looking very head and shoulders-esque on the daily. Joseph, any quick comment on CoreWeave before we send it over to the boys?
Yeah, my guy, I'm not, no comment.
Yeah, you see that move up there?
I see it,
What was that move up there, Joey?
Where was this one?
Why was that move up? What were we saying that move up was going to be?
This is what I was getting at.
Test of the neckline.
This is what I was telling you.
Yes, sir.
Well, there it is.
Are we gonna? Let's find out if we're in the money on our,
not yet. At the lows, I think.
Joey, we're $1,600 out of the money.
Yeah, on that contract.
I still don't understand.
Yeah, because it's so far OTM and it expires in September, right?
Yeah, but
it's a $100 strike.
So let's show the people, right? Let's show the people super quick. So we're doing this in the sim, obviously. So there is the short that I got. I got the put. We got this back in the day. It's a September 19th put. It's a $100 put, Joey. We only got one, and we're $1,612 unrealized out of the money on that. Don't jump into those shorts super quick.
Dude, no, super quick. You got to be precise with those puts for sure, and you got to watch out for IV, and then you also don't want to go so far OTM.
I've learned the lesson. Yeah, this is kind of why.
No, but that's good though. That's what you need to do. You need to learn that trial and error aspect, right? Because it's a different game. So even though it's like, hey, yeah, you think it's going to $100, and it's like, all right, let me grab that strike. No, there's like obviously more Greek fundamentals behind that, and it's why. It's like that's why for me, it's like you go a couple points in the money or out the money. That's it, max, right?
Makes sense. Yeah, it's actually really good. Good lesson to learn,
right? Because if you were to have bought it at the money, it would be inverse, right? You'd be $1,600 ITM right now.
Oh.
Yeah, right. If it was slightly closer, because you were looking at it when it was 150, even a little bit more than that. Like
it continued to go up a little bit after I got it. Like I think I got it on the left shoulder.
Yeah.
It did. So we were out of the money substantially on that.
Yeah. You did get it in here earlier, I think.
It
moved a bit higher. So.
All right, guys. It is 203. We got 3.5 there in the bank. I like that. All right. So the big boys are that way. Joseph and I will be same bat time, same bat channel. I'll see everybody at the green screen.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for taking a little extra time there, boys. But it should be a fun afternoon show.
Overtime.
But as someone who was a kid of the '80s, grew up in the '80s, child of the '80s, whatever you want to call it, I gotta say rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo Huxtable from the Cosby Show. Only 54, Sharif. Only 54 years of age. And we were just talking about Cosby Show this morning.
Literally this morning. Yeah.
And you know what? Like, at the end of the day, celebration. And I'm one of those people, like, I can watch that show a million times. Like, it helped shape lots of lives in a positive way, and he was a great character, and that's so young. But anyway, we just got to do that for real. Like, I right before we came on, I just saw that, and I was like, come on, man, not Theo Huxtable. Legit. And, again, like I said, I was raised on that show. I don't care what anybody says. That was a great show. The show obviously goes on. People think it's a drowning accident. Accidental drowning, yeah. That sucks. Just always try to be safe, everybody. The other thing to talk about here, look, the market is a little bit asleep, but at the highs and looking pretty strong. Open is, I don't know what pun I'm going to give up for this, but 1.2 billion shares of volume.
Hey-o.
Billion shares of volume. Yeah. And now crossing 480, it's still going. I took the 4 punch, and I'm asking myself, Obi, we taking the 5 punch?
Oh boy!
Like it's like the stock is completely insane. There's nothing that seems to be slowing it down or stopping it or whatever. Like there's no. Like I'm looking at the trend line here. What do we do? Eventually, I just said, forget this. Either I take a punch or I'm not going to take a single trade on the stock, and took the 4 hit. Maybe it breaks 5 even. It's clearly the story in terms of movement. Like a stock up 114% doing 1.2 billion shares in volume is complete and utter insanity. Sometimes you'll see it for a few hundred million. This is just on a different level with open. The other side of the coin, however, is what's going on in the other direction in some of the, in some of crypto, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're getting a little bit of strength. Ooh, Tesla just came in. Tesla has been weak all day, but I'm short in front of VWAP on Tesla. I actually just got that right now, like 2 seconds ago. So shorting this one in front of VWAP. I was long off the open. You see, that kind of sucked. That was mixed because I was flat. But then I took a loss on the second long in Tesla. And now we're short off the volume weighted average price. One of the relatively weak stocks, even though it's technically up on the day.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised how heavy some of that selling came in off of the open relative to the rest of the names. Tesla, the only one that was relatively weak and strong to the downside. Apple as well is the only one that's pulling back towards its day low. So I did have a short on it a little earlier during the midday. I guess I had a bit of a TQ short right here. That I guess came into VWAP, eventually got out of most of it into there. And yeah, I was open to taking fills on open as well. So I took a bit of the reversion from 420s down into 4s, definitely covered way too early and didn't have anywhere near what I should be having on that. But yeah, it seems like it's open for new highs right now, pushing into $5. So that's absolutely crazy. Let's take a quick look at the book. It's trading on the Nasdaq. All right, so let's throw on some filters here so we can take a look-see together and see if there's anything coming on with that $5 mark, Neil. We can see right here. I got to pull it up a little bit higher. Yeah, I don't really see the $5 just yet, but 98s has 3,000 lots on that one. See, at this point, you probably don't even really need to look at the chart because we are pushing fresh highs. So this kind of screen is what I'm talking about right now. Sorry?
Punch and pray?
No, I mean, I'm trying to read the book. Like, forget the chart at this point.
So hot.
Everything that I need to know is right here in front of me. That's how I feel right now. Let's see if that $5 mark, look at that. So much size sitting on 98s and 99s. I'm just curious. I don't know if I'm going to participate, but I'm just curious to know how this $5 mark is going to get pushed on open, and if it's open for fresh highs as well above that. Let's see how much size actually shows up. 5,000 plus, thank you for that. Yeah, TQ is coming back up to higher days. Neil is definitely right on that. Market sideways, pretty much consolidative, but within the upper quartile of the morning action as of right now. So yeah, signifying some pretty solid strength, Neil.
Well, speaking of that, I just punched out a Tesla when it got the $0.50. Usually you give Tesla a buck. No, not the way I see the tape going. This is increasing volume as well. Here, let's see. See that? That's on increasing volume and really starting to break back out. So I don't want to fight this on Tesla. Like, to me, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong in this market. And volume coming in, the market's punching through those highs. I was sitting at VWAP trying to get it after I missed it here. But no need to fight it. Let's get this, we gotta get this rundown on, because I can tell you, we turned off the fan so that we could do the rundown. And okay, now I get what you guys are talking about. Because I had, like, there was a fan on us.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we're in between
right.
fan and the midday show desk. And so I didn't realize how much that was helping with the heat in here. It just instantly jumped like 5 degrees. When I don't. So let's get this rundown started, see what you guys want to talk about. I boldly predict top of the list will be open.
Boom.
Far and away, Neil. Far and away. Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, guys. The show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys are locked and they're loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. The only way to get those tickers up there is to vote any time of the day now. Super simple. Thanks to Fabian. You throw in that $sign followed by your 3, 4, or 5 letter ticker. Automatically registers from 8:30 onwards, guys. So make sure you are voting every single day. Here's a look at all 4 major averages really being led by the NQ, up 0.8%. You've got the Russell 2000, the worst of the 4 major averages, up 1/4, and the ES and the Dow, both just a little bit above that 0.5%, but good look for all 4 major averages today. Here's the first one, guys, as decided by you, and this was a triple times winner, 3 times. The second one here over here, open, received 3 times more votes than the second. Look, continued move here for open, kind of it's achieved meme status, so to speak, especially after last week. Hedge fund manager Eric Jackson kind of lit a fire under open doors, saying that this stock could reach, guys, $82 per share. I was all over this during the midday show, and I'm sure you guys were looking at it as well. Open door, guys.
Oh, boy.
This is one of those, man. If you feel the way I feel and you trade it like I want you to trade, then tell me that you're punching through. $5, everybody. And if you don't get the reference, then you don't love Silk Sonic. And if you don't love Silk Sonic, then you don't love good music. Because that's a baby maker right there.
Oh, boy.
I said,
Yeah, I don't know.
What did you just say, Joe?
Who is
Oh,
Silk
hell
Sonic?
no, you didn't just say you don't know who Silk Sonic is. Oh, Joe. Joe, my man, Joe.
Dude,
Joey options.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't know who Silk Sonic
He
is.
doesn't eat apple pie, huh?
I don't know who that is.
Huh?
Who is that? Like, no, legit. Silk Sonic?
We don't
No,
stop
dude.
talking nonsense.
Come on.
Man. We trying to talk about.
I don't eat pie. You don't eat broccoli.
Nobody cares about.
That's a good one. He's like, I don't eat pie. You don't eat
It
broccoli.
doesn't matter if I don't eat broccoli, okay? Let's be real. Nobody.
Oh, boy.
People talk about liking broccoli. Joe just yelled
I
at me.
mean,
Like,
I
"You
know
don't even
Bruno
like
Mars and
broccoli."
Anderson .Paak. Like, I know who they are.
Yeah, but their group is called Silk Sonic.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's them.
Is this relatively new or like?
I mean,
Because like I know Bruno
they
Mars
won a-
from
they
like
won a
back in the
Grammy
day.
like 3 years ago, I'm pretty sure.
And then I know Anderson .Paak as of more recently.
Anderson Pop.
And that's it? There's two?
I mean, they got like backup band and stuff. Look, I'm a little bit surprised. So, anyways, it doesn't matter. Apparently, I can't do like a leave the door open reference that anyone's gonna get. It's a great song. Check it out if you haven't. But open
$5 in.
1.2. It's about to break $5. I have a day-long trend line that I'm working with here, and it now pulls back. I took one trade on this. It was a $4 break, and I stopped out of it break even. It was a straight-up punch and scalp from 4 to 440. I'm thinking the same thing through 5. That said, when it broke $4, it went up, came into like 395, pulled back, held a higher low, and then broke out. This is almost like it hasn't gone and made that test to 5, I don't think yet, but I want to see it do that same thing. Go up, test 5, pull back, hold a prior high, and then go. If there's a big dip, trend line from the open. There's the trend line from the open, like make a few connects to it. Just somewhere in front is where I'd look for a dip buy. This sucker's got so much volume that you should just take. I mean, if you have the ability to trade multiple times, you can. Obviously, up 120%. I'm not talking about buying and holding it forever. This is more about momentum. This was a $1 stock less than a week ago. This was a penny stock a couple of weeks ago. It is an absolute blowout, and we're now at the major resistance is above this $5 level. So if it was going to do a nasty turn, you'd think it would be here. Oh, you guys can't see that. There you go. There's the big. That's about 490 on the chart, which is exactly where we're sitting right now. So a 5 break is out and about above that level on the daily. So I'll take a shot at it, but ridiculously tight stop. Like if I break it, that's working right away and never going against me like the 4 break did. And if it does, I'll just jump right out. Like with one punch through 4 in a scalp trade, it's my best stock today. That's getting it one time. So who cares? Like if it goes again, great. And if it doesn't go right away, then I'm ready for the dip buy on trend.
Yeah, open is, I mean, I don't have much more to say on open, Neil, but like I said before, it's definitely open to new highs, and that's what it's showing us as it's extending above VWAP now. I did like this little pullback as a short and a reversion. I did get involved on the 420 area test, and it did pull back pretty decently down into 3.6s. And continues to stair step up above prior structure. And yeah, over a billion shares traded now, 1.25 we're coming on to on the day. So an interesting increase in the market cap on this name over the past few days for sure. Neil, and it seems like we're still very much on the front side of this move as it's built up. I was talking about this a little earlier today, and I think it was the anchored VWAP down from these lows. So we're starting to not only extend and hold off of those, but extend and hold off of current intraday moving averages as well. So starting to finally go pretty parabolic is open. No sign of a backslide just yet, though.
All right, guys, QuantumScape selling off today with really no news, but it was moving up last week after the company announced a breakthrough called Cobra. It's a process manufacturing breakthrough where it's poised to increase kind of the production speed of its proprietary ceramic separators. They make these chargeable batteries for electric vehicles and other items. So QuantumScape, guys, selling off a little bit today after a good week last week.
Yeah, Cobra, huh? The first thing you say Cobra, the first thing I think about. No, not see both these dudes just so Fabian goes Cobra Kai, and Sharif says Cobra Kai, and I'm saying fail, fail, fail. Both of y'all fail. No, man, G.I. Joe, son. G.I. Joe.
Okay.
That's right.
Nice.
I saw that movie in the theater. The G.I. Joe movie. I saw it.
Those
in
are
the
good
theater.
movies. I like those movies.
Okay,
a lot of people don't like them.
Okay, I gotta be real with you.
I think they're fun.
The G.I. Joe movie that I'm talking about and the G.I. Joe movie you're
Probably different.
So you're talking about the G.I. Joe movie where it's actual people acting and wasn't in the 80s. I'm talking about the cartoon one in the 80s.
Yeah, G.I. Joe the cartoon was sick too.
That was legit.
Yeah, on Cartoon Network.
Oh, here comes Joe.
It's all about G.I. Jane, man.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I have no. Who's G.I. Jane?
No, that was good.
Is that G.I. Joe's girlfriend or something?
You don't know that movie?
G.I. Jane?
G.I. Jane, like she goes through Navy SEAL training.
Maybe.
It's a pretty big movie. As a matter of fact, you know the Will Smith slap? So the joke that Chris Rock told was a G.I. Jane joke. And that's what got him slapped by Will Smith.
Okay. That's interesting.
G.I. Jane's
I haven't seen G.I. Jane.
You know
it looks interesting. He's got a 7, above a 7 on IMDb, so I'm like, yeah, definitely worth a watch, it would seem.
Because it's 7? Okay, 7?
Yeah.
7 doesn't seem that good.
That's my cutoff.
I feel like it was a little better than the 7. But wasn't it better than a 7, everybody? I give QuantumScape's day today a 3 out of 10, unless you were short. Like, look at this at the open. It obviously dumped. Got a nice SSR bounce down over 10%, which is always great. But it's holding. Let's go to the daily chart first. Like, it's holding up pretty nicely. I just look at something like this as a day one top. There's so much going today in terms of runners and all that good stuff to find bullishness, whether it's, the market is strong. You got some Mag 7 names like Amazon doing really well. Apple had a really good day. Like, then you got all these things like Open, which is still about 487, trying to break that 5. QuantumScape, I just find it hard to believe it's going to sustain a bunch of buyers today. I don't know if I want to trade this. Got great volume, but declining throughout the day. And I didn't pay for locates on this. So the notion of say shorting it if it gets up to around to that 13 area, I don't know that's something I want to do. You need to let this one settle for a couple of days here. It feels like it's just made a top, and then we're getting the other side of the V. Could be starting today on news. Just heard something about, right? What's going on here? I just heard something about CrowdStrike in my ear.
Oh boy.
Like, I'll let you go. I'm gonna see what I can
Crowd.
figure out what just happened to Crowd.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no, QuantumScape, first red day in a long time. Let's measure how many days we've had green. 16 days in a row, Neil, straight back to back. After that gap up, we consolidated. We tried to push up a little higher, but consolidation for a few days, and then low volume, failure to follow through coming in on July 2nd and 3rd at the beginning of the month, and a little bit of a hold of that anchored VWAP off of that gap up as well. So first red day coming in right off of the open. So let's go see how that came in. I think prior day low was 1350s, 1360s. You can see nice little consolidation, and we were looking for consolidation leg, but when the pre-market comes in pretty weak and then pushes that prior day low in a distinctive way for the first time in 15 days when we've had back-to-back greens, yeah, might have a little bit of a push or some wound up buying that has been, needing to be released, and then the sellers come in off of the prior day low. First time it breaks that prior day low pretty aggressively. That was quite nice, but holding up pretty well here, Neil. Again, it's been up for over 15 days. So bigger picture, can it pull back a little bit? I think it's well within range. You can see how overextended it is on the daily chart. So a little bit of a breather on the day today. Nice reversion that came in as well. I wasn't really watching this one that closely, but once that selling in the morning session, you can see how strong that drop off of that bar is, of that volume bar, as soon as those buyers kind of step right back in and that selling is done. So nice little sideways consolidation orbit around VWAP as of right now on QuantumScape, Neil.
We got big news for Vietnam's green mobility shift and a major win for VinFast. That's VFS on the Nasdaq. Starting July 1st, 2026, Hanoi will ban gas-powered motorcycles in its city center, kicking off a nationwide move toward electric transport. VinFast is in prime position to benefit, with major investments in EV tech, battery production, and charging networks. It has a strong head start. While others scramble, VinFast is ready, and this policy only sharpens its edge. VFS over there on the Nasdaq. Scan the QR code you see in front of me. Just a couple of things. We're going to go and talk about NVTS in a quick second, but a couple of stories. One, you've got, I wanted to go to CrowdStrike. The story was shares of several cybersecurity-related stocks trading lower amid cyber attack on Microsoft SharePoint servers. That was a while back. That was over at like 1 o'clock, so it's a bit, bit of a delayed reaction, but there is another headline, and this is coming from C-Tech. Again, C-Tech News saying, is Palo Alto Networks eyeing a Sentinel-1 takeover? So that's Sentinel-1, 15% move, and I don't wonder if, obviously in a situation like that, Palo Alto gets hit, because they'd be the ones acquiring, and then Sentinel-1 goes up. I don't wonder if a certain portion of that CrowdStrike has more to do with just sympathy. The bid dropped when PanW's bid dropped more than anything else. So just if you're trading cybersecurity names, that's what seems to be happening. The moves relate closer to this story about Sentinel-1 than it does the hour ago talk about cyber security breaches. I think that's why these stocks are moving. Could lead there to potentially be at least a little bit of a dead cat bounce. We'll see if there's any details on any potential deal. Again, just speculation for Sentinel-1 and Palo Alto.
NVTS, great day for NVTS today. Really no news, guys, but could be moving in sympathy with the overall semiconductor sector. Did make all-time, well, sorry, not all-time, 52-week highs today. Good look. I didn't trade this one that well on the midday show. Let's see what the boys have to say about this one.
Well,
Interesting move.
it's,
No news?
No, it's asleep right now at the volume weighted average price. It just, like right off the bat at the open, it was just a program buy on it. And unless you were, like, about the only really clean thing was there's your program buy, then a late break here, and then the volume weighted average price. But volume has really died down on this, despite the fact, like, this is a reclaim. Well, it was a reclaim of the $9 level and prior highs on NVTS. It seemed like it was going to continue the squeeze a little bit here because it was a pretty significant level. These nines where it's trying to break. Just seriously, like, oh wow. GameStop seems to be going as well on a news story. Like GameStop with recent volume here. Again, I'll double check to see if there's anything new, but GameStop continuing its rally from earlier, about, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes ago. GameStop popped to the upside. But that NVTS, I'd say disappointing. I see Feed the Thinker saying NVTS will go back down to $8. Everything about the way that it's reacting up here is suggesting it's running out of steam volume-wise. That could be a bit of a factor of so many other small cap names running. I mean, GameStop just literally went open doors doing such ridiculous volume today that maybe it's getting lost in the shuffle and running out of steam. 100 million is great volume, but you'd like to see that continue. Yeah, I think this might be, at least temporarily, in the midst of a bit of a pullback. But keep an eye on GameStop. Yeah, you know, there's no chance things are getting euphoric when every single crypto custody thing is moving, despite the fact that Bitcoin was at 118,000 when we sat down, is at 118,000 now, and it'll probably be at 118,000 when we finish the afternoon show. But you know, squeeze them.
Sounds about right, Neil. There's NVTS. Yeah, it's interesting. Again, first time I'm looking at it is as of right now, a little bit earlier, a few minutes ago, and bit of a step up and structure hold after whatever happened here on the 22nd. So I guess I would have to go back and figure out why this this aggressive bid up happened from that dollar. I guess we were lows were $1.81s. So traded below $2 and then got that strong push post earnings as well. So don't know what that catalyst was on there, but from a price action perspective, yeah, this curl, this hold has been pretty nice. Aggressive push on the day today. And yeah, if we're gonna say no news, I'm gonna think that something happened in the past few days which may have built into this move. And right away I can see maybe, Neil, a bit of a liquidity trap here because you have a strong volume day on Tuesday, July 15th, after kind of a bit of a gap up and a low volume fade, which doesn't really follow through. Friday coming in, you get that nice grind up going into the end of the week and an explosive, almost a parabolic move off of the open. Yeah, smells like a squeeze a little bit, maybe a little bit of a short trap happening there. Holding higher highs now as well as structure holds above 8/2. So interesting look on this one. NVTS going to be on my radar going forward for the rest of the week. Let's see some of these stocks, man. Sub-dollar stocks. They're running. They're doing crazy amounts of volume, and the market is definitely hot when it comes to this kind of setup.
Hotter than this office.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's hot. I don't like it. All right, Tesla reports after the bell on Wednesday, guys. Make sure to catch that with us on the Market Recap Show. It's going to be hotly anticipated today. A couple of headlines on it. Bank of America maintaining their neutral rating on Tesla, but boosting that price target up from 305 to 341. And separately, Elon Musk announcing on X that now over 3 million Model 3s have been sold worldwide, guys. Good look. We'll have to see how they do on deliveries on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, the numbers now all of a sudden matter as I now hit accept, and I've just paid for borrows on GameStop. Because we'll get to GameStop after we do the rundown. That one just came out of nowhere and suddenly has taken a window on my stock charts because the way I see it, there's Open and there's GameStop. A lot of the big caps have really slowed down. In Tesla, I just gotten into it and then now we'll just get out for 50 cents because I want to move to something which seemed a little better, but Tesla resumes. When in doubt, zoom out. This morning looked like, when we gap up, there's basically two long trades that I like off the open. Are we breaking out off the open, which it did, and then immediately failed, or are we dipping back into like prior highs? It made the attempt to, and when it lost, that's it. When you're not holding in front of the prior high, then that whole dip and rip story for me is gone. It did make it all the way down to 327 or so, and now you've got the resistance right back in at 331 on Tesla. Going into the earnings, the good news is that we've broken away from the 50 and the 200 period moving average. Bad news is we did not make a real, I kind of feel like we got to 338. I felt like it was more like 340 to 342. That would be the resistance today. So it didn't quite get there on Tesla. And it's not an excuse. We should have covered that breakout much better. But I really thought we were going to get at least to 340 bucks. So I didn't get that fill. When it was breaking 338, I was thinking we're going to get 39, 40, and that was a mistake. Sometimes you have a stock which is, I don't want to call it in the penalty box, but not nearly as strong as the other Mag 7 names out there, and maybe some profit taking going into that earnings because people feel risk. Either way, not quite the punch I would usually have expected Tesla to have when it was breaking away from levels like this on the daily. Just a very, very quick fail and a lot of profit taking coming through. You're going to need to break 331 to get exciting this afternoon.
Yeah, I think even bigger picture, Neil, you can see it here on the hourly. The highs, the local highs of this structure that we've been building in and around the 367, the lows coming in at 270s, and we're pretty much flagging, consolidating sideways in and around this range, this strong flush that we got, I guess, from the end of May coming into June. Yeah, you can see right there all the way covering that whole range, kind of defining it. We're trading between that range as of right now. So yeah, a little bit of no man's land, perhaps, if you want to call it, as we bounce around and maybe wind up to release some pressure one way or the other. But strong selling came in off of the open today after a strong close on Friday, and it was interesting. I was actually looking for potential push lower back into prior day's levels, and we did get that. Didn't really get involved with it right off of the open, coming in with the aggressive selling, so didn't really give a decent chance other than maybe VWAP. Neil, you can see even extended away from VWAP, sellers stepping in much lower than that, but as of right now, stepping up back into VWAP. 330 halves is where that is. 326.89 is that day low, holding up pretty well here on Tesla. So start of the week, a little bit of a shake.
Bake and bake.
Move up for Big Bear AI on Thursday, kind of flat on Friday, sold off a little bit. That selling continues into today, losing $8, 7 and change we go, guys. Big Bear AI, no catalyst, but continues to run, one that we've been watching for a while.
So Big Bear AI is filling in the gap from Thursday pretty heavily here. Well, heavily is not the right word. It's just filling in the gap from Thursday. And this is not the first time it's done a fail up around that $8.50. The last time it got here, Friday was here, but the last time it got here, you completely rejected above 850 and then stair-stepped it down to 6. So the good, of course, would be it bought right back up. Once it got reestablished 7, you retest that high. If it so much as holds $7, then that's bullish at the end of the day. So as long as you can hold $7 on the way back, you're putting in another higher low in the midst of finally eventually taking out that 850 level and getting to $10, which is the big level from February. So I think BBAI, it's a momentum play which is not necessarily done yet, but you're going to have to hold out that $7. Lots of profit takers on this one, as when you get these small cappers that do like a double up, especially here, it's early stage, so it's not going to be a valuation type of thing. Like, this isn't going to be something where you'll look at the fundamentals and be like, oh yeah, this is what it's worth. Nah, not that kind of a story. Pure momentum play. You're going to want it to hold that $7 in the short run. And I doubt we get there this afternoon. It just doesn't feel like it's not falling heavily enough, not enough volume for it to get to 7 for a bounce today. I think that's more of a tomorrow, Wednesday type play to look for a bounce off that 7 level.
Yeah, that BBAI, man. I haven't been keeping track of this one for the past few days, but coming in with a strong move today, Neil. And that opening wick, once again, we see a false break of prior day's highs coming in quite hot. That high from, I guess, Friday pre-market was $8.60. Today's high, $8.59. Supply coming right back in. You can see on Friday, selling off to near day lows, coming back in today, giving it a little bit of a ping test of those prior days highs. Sellers stepping right back in, showing us who is in charge on BBAI on a day like today. Yeah, is this the top? I have no idea. It's been running for quite a while. You can see here after we take this VWAP off, make it a little bit of a clearer look. Pullbacks into $6 held pretty well, but holding these highs underneath an ultimate high of the structure of $8.72. Sure, we didn't quite get to that 10.5 just yet, but we're building up pretty nicely. I like the pullback into 6 that held and gave us some fresh highs back up into the top of the range. Let's see how BBAI can continue to build. Stepping up pretty aggressively, Neil. It's surprising to say, just in April, this stock was at $2.42, and now we're trying to knock on the door of 9. Oh, no.
As the Sharif just sings, knocking on heaven's door.
Oh boy.
A good tune right there. Oh, GME, you just done the move. I just paid for the Boros on GameStop like 2 seconds ago and tried to short this turn as a topping tail just above 24, and GameStop up 3%. Again, I didn't see a specific story for GME. Gonna double check. Nah, there's really nothing new here that I'm seeing on GameStop. And if you're wondering, hey, but is it just going because Bitcoin is going? Well, the answer would be Bitcoin is doing not much of anything except that's not a real, that's got to be dark pool. There's no way Bitcoin did that kind of volume on a single candle. But yeah, it looks like we're just headed pretty much nowhere on IBIT. Bitcoin at 117.7. We're actually underneath that 18 levels. I'll try to get GameStop again at 24. Carney is a couple times. Let me just go to open for a second here. Gonna jump in. So open hasn't gotten to the trend line yet, but as long as it's above the trend line, I'm looking long, whether that's breakout or buy into support. And the most recent dip level was $4.60. So I just simply sat in front of it, and I want to be long into 5, and then we'll see about taking a break at the $5 level, because why not on open. But sympathy play OPAD for open. Offer pad solutions. Look, I don't know. Let me look it up. It looks like the chart is at least loosely mirroring it. And
I don't have any news today.
yeah, I'm reading an article. There's an article that actually kind of has. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's mirroring the charts, but not close enough. Like, it's not super close. And the way I usually like to play this is if I see OPAD, okay, OPAD's the thing. OPAD's breaking the high as we speak, and open, it's holding near the highs. It's not really breaking the top. I don't know that they're going together. However, if you see open break structure and lose the trend, then maybe you could look short on this or at least get out of your longs if that's the case. Open Door's done 1.3 billion shares. This has done 17, 18 million.
Yeah,
so you know,
distinctly different.
It's just, they're distinctly different at this point. I mean, it's an upward trending chart. I don't know how much it's following it, and its volume has come a little bit later. So yeah, I'm not going to touch that 110 pull. Like the second it broke out, look at the candle it just did. I moved it to a 1 minute because when I'm trading open in this, I might prefer a 1 minute. But you just had the break on OPAD, tries to get to $5, instantly drops almost 10%, just like that. Like that's the difference. Like as crazy as open is, let me just right back to a 3 minute because for my brain, I like 3 minute charts a little bit better. Like open, the liquidity and volume on this is so good at this point that it's hard to imagine. Like 113% up, not only has there not been a halt, there's been 0 moments where it felt like it had a chance to halt. And I was in this when it broke $4 and did this pullback on open. And even then you're like, yeah, this isn't gonna halt because there's enough liquidity in front of $4, so it's not gonna go fast enough. Speaking of which, I'm gonna get out of this dip buy in front of 5 because 5 is its own trade. So open, once again, buy the dip until it stops working is the name of the game for myself.
Keeps on going.
It just keeps going and going
and going and going. Here's $5 coming in right now. Is the, I don't know, I just know that that's a reference to
going and go. Yeah.
And it's gone?
The Energizer Bunny.
Oh, yeah. It keeps going and going and going. Yeah, I remember the ads. Yeah.
I get happy when I get my references. It gets me all warm inside. Yeah. Can we get that fan back?
Dude, I don't know how you guys are sweating so hard.
No, man, Fabian's
I'm wearing like 2 layers, right?
This dude is taking down all of these, there's a bunch of like lights and stuff that
I know why
taken down.
Fabian's sweating. We're just sitting here.
Oh, it's like that?
Wait,
I gotta hide my tablet.
I saw the boys as well. But dudes were like sweating so hard. Wait, like what's going on? Is it hotter over there, Joe?
Okay.
Mans are always hot. Saying, all right, cool. I don't know. See, I don't know how that's like because like man's not hot. So you know.
That's a good one.
Oh boy. Yeah, no.
Yo,
so open coming into that $5 mark. Like I said, I want to
take the break.
What's that? Nah, not really.
You don't like the breakout trades?
I gotta see. It's not coming. I mean, if I wanted to get long, I should have gone long. Let me see the daily chart. Where should I have gone long today? Let's talk about this.
You go long 01.
You go long off of open, and then you just have a TWAP on as a buy program.
What could go wrong?
Exactly. You just run a TWAP after taking the opening print, and you're good to go because you're opening above prior day's high. No, I'm joking. I have no idea. But the fact that we held prior day's highs pretty well, this after hours session highs as well, and then breaking out of this $3 mark, I think this $3 mark right there, because in the pre-market, it seems like there was a little bit of ice here as it couldn't get past that $3, and once we get into the opening session, once we break this $3, I think that might be something, or even strong pullbacks into that $3 level, which hold above, which seems like a hold above VWAP. Yeah, there you go, confluence right there, and then this breakout as well. So yeah, a lot of places to potentially get long on the day today, and this strong pullback as well. I know I liked the short here, but definitely strong reasons to buy showing up once again as we hold structure higher and higher. So yeah, stair-stepping to the upside. I liked the short in here for just a scalp, but I'm definitely going to respect the trend on the day as it pushes higher and higher.
Take the break. Take the
break. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if I was in much earlier, I would love to take some inventory through 5, but you can see my bias on it is already a little apparent.
Well, this is the fun part about it. What's hilarious is, once again, and Jam Loki, I'm going to get to Tilray in a second, is one more time, I was in the long, and where I trailed out of the last, I did hold on.
Those were great reasons
I held
to
on
sell.
to 5% for break even, but I got a good 20% out there, and that was exactly what I think. You went short probably at a better price because you always usually get up here. But I'm going to take the 5 break. We just bought the dip at 460 once into 490, so I'm going to take it if it breaks the $5. And I was asked about Tilray here. So first off, I'm unaware of any catalysts in the cannabis space today, so I can't really explain that spike on Tilray. I will look it up. I do know that it's been a minute since we've sustained any big moves in the cannabis space, but don't at me because there's higher lows on these stocks right now. They are in some ways, like there's a bottom form here, like a rounded bottom, consolidation, break. It just looks like Tilray's got to get through 75 cents. Now, there is nothing in the volume today which is suggesting, like the second it spiked and broke the high, instantly dwindling volume. I'm not seeing enough here that gets it through it today. But I think that's worth putting. I'll probably put this on the iPad, that if there's something that can get us through 75 on Tilray, that's worthy of a punch. We seem to be in a market right now where there's like a runner every 5 minutes. And the way I like to play these is hit it and quit it and don't try to be a hero about it. So if I see Tilray breaking a big level, okay, I'll play 75 into 90, which is the 200-period moving average. And I'll try to take a long in Tilray one of these days as it's breaking through that level. Get your 10 to 15% move and get the you-know-what out of Dodge before everything falls apart. That's the same thing with open. Like, it's going to keep taking shots. Like, buy a dip off an obvious level so where I can risk 5 or 6 cents. You try and make 20 if you can, and then take the punch at $5 and risk again 4 or 5 cents and try and make 10, 15, 20, and then move on to the next. So that's the plan of action. I'm going to go ahead and cancel my shorts on GameStop because clearly I've missed that pullback. And let's go up to the desk with Adara.
Here's MFH. I know Neil was asking about this one in our chat. I don't have any news for this drop, but I can tell you why it was on watch this morning. This morning, the company did announce that they're entering into a $200 million equity line of credit agreement to launch what else? A Solana-based treasury strategy. The next in a line of small caps with these treasury strategies in the crypto space. Again, this one, Solana, the ticker MFH, just opened from a halt, pushing lower. I looked into the specs of this one in terms of the float. Nothing super significant here, about a $212 million market cap. They are on the Russell 2000 apparently, and they do have a float here of about 33.5 million shares. Short float about 5.5%. Short's clearly winning right now. This thing is now heading to that $2 level. I also looked into cannabis tickers, could not find any catalyst there. Back to you.
I am sick and tired of these Mercury FinTech shorts blowing up my Mercury FinTech stock.
Bam.
That's right.
Bam.
And I just made you say that in your heads, and you know exactly what you all said in your heads right there. I don't know anything about this company, but this seems pretty bad. A lot of times, everyone always wants to try to catch a bottom on these. So I will say, sometimes you will get this ridiculous stair step down, bless you, times 10, Fabian. Sometimes you will get this stair step down, and an obvious price area will start a reversion. $2 and $1.30 are the levels on the daily where you might see it. The other thing I'm thinking about is it just halted down, and there's a huge, huge green candle. If this holds the low, and it's a big if, all right, well, so much for that. I was about to say, like, if this can hold the low on the 3 and close higher, I might take a shot off that bottom. But now I'm just waiting for, if it's not going to be down here, like 130 on that chart and $2 with the levels, it's pretty much at 2 now, and it doesn't seem to be holding up just yet. Oh, no, GameStop ain't done. Open may have slowed down and can't get past 490, but GameStop is right back at the high. Hello, GameStop. All right, GameStop, if you get to 25, I'm not going long GameStop. I'm looking for my shot to short it. And so if it's going to continue here, it's going to be closer to the 25 level where I have to take it. John Del Segno saying Mara is getting punked. This is the thing.
That was running. Riot's running today.
Riot's up today?
I thought it was. I checked earlier. Riot was up, yeah.
Well, Bitcoin's not doing a thing except sliding slowly to the downside. So the fact that Mara is down 3% is not terribly shocking to me because Bitcoin's not doing a thing. I know they're also in the custody game as well, Mara. That's certainly been good for them, and it's been a nice upward turn. But it goes, what more can you ask for? It doubles up right into the big resistance at 21 bucks, and there's been nothing that's showing it to strength. Big reversal, 2 big reversals yesterday. This just seems like continuation. If we lose 18.5 bucks on Mara, there's further gap to fill. So open is at 495. Come on, get there. I'm still taking that break. Adara?
Benair and Palo Alto Networks. Earlier today, I guess it was reported that the company was interested in buying Sentinel-1. Now CNBC coming out and saying that Palo Alto said there is no truth to the rumor they were buying out Sentinel-1. So nice little bounce. Long story short, people thought they were going to buy out Sentinel-1. They said they are not buying out Sentinel-1, and now the stock is trying to, I guess, continue to bounce back, though it is pretty well below its high of day here by the tune of about $3. Back to you.
Reversion, not only of the price action, but the news itself, apparently, as that comes in really nicely.
Bye-bye.
Wow, look at that. I mean,
Bye-bye.
Oh, boy. I got to pull this up on a chart so you guys can see. But Neil has it open.
Buying
on chart right there.
on buyout rumors.
Here we go. Market coming in as well.
That's the thing. If the company isn't saying it, then you really have to be careful. It's one, like, if you really like don't get me wrong. Like, if you just flat out like Sentinel-1, and you like it at these levels and all that stuff, it is a good break of a downward trend. So I get it. Like, this actually looks pretty solid at the $19 level on the chart. So if you like the company, you're getting it on a break of the 50 period, you're getting it on a break of trend. But if you just buy the top on a day trade, that's a different story. It would seem to me like sometimes there's the whole when there's smoke, there's fire notion that, okay, well, you guys might not be interested, but maybe somebody is. It would make some sense to me, but let it settle down a bit. I think it's still pretty bullish if it's holding above $19. But this could revert. If it reverts all the way back, you're really only at 19.5. That'd be a good place to look. The problem would be, look at that's a lot of volume on the buy side, way out in front, so it could easily just lose the bid because there's too many buyers that got trapped short term that don't want to hold it for any kind of a swing trade. I hate to talk about open over and over again, but it did just tag 97. It's up at 92. Should be any second now to me that it makes a run at this $5 level. We'll see how big the size is on the offer, but it won't matter. Like, it should pop in. If we break $5, you'll see 501 long pop in for myself, and hopefully something like this happens, where it just goes straight up 10%. Adara?
Our friends at Beta Pro by Global X Canada. Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X daily leveraged ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders who are ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca. That's betapro.ca before investing. Back to you.
On which?
The market's turning. I said I did get involved with a little bit of TQs there. And I have eyes on Amazon as well, Neil, as well as Google, coming up into their highs and pulling back a little bit as well. So, yeah, let's take a quick look at Amazon and let's see if we can swing on something right here. If anything does show up, let's see if it'll drop us a bit of a vine. Amazon. So yeah, maybe breaking trend. It's starting to break some things along with the bid, along with the rest of the market as well as the market pulls back. Look at the SPY breaking through this structure we've been holding for majority of the day. We were talking about, oh boy, market's holding up within their top quartile. This is the first time SPY has seen some fresh lows since that morning bid did dissipate. When was that? Let's see, specifically at 10:30. So just this bid lasting on the market for about an hour and consolidating sideways since then, and then going 10 minutes into the last hour of the day, Neil, finally catching a little bit of a sell. So Amazon grinding up all day, definitely one of the culprits for that market strength as well. Let's see if it can pull into VWAP right here, but you can see a little bit better. Excuse me, on the spider as that comes in as of right now. So you can see as that spider crawls a little bit to the downside here with increasing volume pulling in as well. So interesting stuff. Let's see if this break-in structure leads to more selling. Those strong volume bars are pretty convincing as of right now, Neil, but who knows? Maybe we just make a higher low at some point along the way and continue to bid up. This market has been aggressively strong.
Yeah, what hasn't been strong is the quantum names. So Rigetti, QBTS, IonQ, like whichever one you want to look at, they had a attempt at a breakout. IonQ was the strongest one this morning, but Rigetti just took the low. When the market's at the high and starting to reverse, Rigetti's got more work to do to get back down to that 16 bottom that we had on Friday. That was a great reversion off 16, but you got 2%. If we consolidate down here, you know what? I'm just going to get on the offer first. I just paid for. Interesting. I went to go see if I liked QBTS better because we can short QBTS for free. And what I saw with D-Wave was 1, 2, 3, 4. It's now 5 times it's held around this level, whereas Rigetti's already breaking through to the downside. So I want to pick on a weak stock. I was long Rigetti on a reversion earlier. I said I was going to do one of those. If it broke a trend, it couldn't get to volume weighted average price, so only mostly worked, just didn't give you the full follow through. But I want to short this back into the 16, about 45 level as GameStop, OB, continues to go. Oh, and I jinxed open. Clearly I've jinxed it because it got to 497 and that is the top. It's now pulling right back in. The last time it was long, I was off to 460. That was distinctly different. Like it was a nice gentle pullback and double bottom at 460. This is a heavy candle pullback. I'll want to see it slow things down and round out the top. The volume's so good, it's easy to get back into this. But I'm just going to try and take pot shots at this one if it doesn't break the $5 level here. So Rigetti looking to go short as it consolidates off the bottom, waiting my opportunity to get back into open door if it doesn't break 5. And then the last one is, I almost said, yeah, Jimmy. I know the nickname for GME is supposed to be Jimmy. It's still holding strength. 25 is about the level that I feel like that's where I'd want to put the short on. And it's very much holding trend, still has a lot of volume. There hasn't been any moment where it's felt like it's super toppy just yet. Every one of those reversions looks like here, it's kind of a trap short, then gets really bullish again. There is a trap candle as well. And at no point when I look at the level 2 does it look like it's running out of steam. Still a lot of strength in GameStop, no particular story here. And I don't think you want to rush. You don't want to force the short on this thing. Ooh, the air is definitely up there. That's a good movie. It's an okay movie.
Nice.
Good's pushing it. You probably never seen the air up there.
Air up there? No.
$1. We love these dollar levels on these stocks. And Tony Voip, let me just get to that. Insider bought 500K of GME today. Oh boy. With the 500,000 shares or $500,000 worth of stock? Hopefully, it means 500. Better be
500,000 shares. I hope so.
It better be 500,000 shares because if someone bought $500,000 worth of GameStop stock,
we would have seen something.
Yeah, like that's something. 500,000 shares of GME insider buying. We'll look into that. I did not see that story, but that's certainly the kind of thing that will get you like in a random midday spike on volume, right? Like Bitcoin's not doing anything that would suggest that it's related to that story. But this air stock looking like it wants a test of that dollar level. I don't mind me a whole, like if we can do something positive off $1, but what is the deal with this? What is wrong with this chart? Yuck. You gotta zoom it in, because when you zoom it out, it's so bad. No, you know what? I don't know if I like this one through $1. I might prefer this as an attempt at a fail of $1 when I see this. That's pretty overextended with resistance, 200 periods over $1 at like 107. And look when it lost $1 in here, there was resistance at about 112. So it feels like there's overhead resistance on $1. In this stock, it would need to break 110, 112 before I would get involved and thinking it's a continuation long. So I'm still looking at open, GameStop, and yeah, daily day trade, we can have a look at Circle. I traded Circle today. Long early, then short, probably should have kept the short. Like I was long early off the volume weighted average price, that was good, then chopped around here when it was breaking trend a couple of times. I can get rid of those, it doesn't matter. And now it's breaking the low. I think I just timed the short wrong. I tried to get it as it was breaking the bottom, like right in here, and now it's breaking, under 220, yikes. 2% down, under 220. Okay, hey, Circle, this is that flat bottom break. This is what I was trying to work into earlier today. Thank you for calling this one up. Maybe I should be not worried about Rigetti and trying to weasel my way into Circle. Circle's got a ton of downside underneath this 220 level. That's why I flipped short from earlier. Yeah, that's a good look, man. This, you know how much this can move, and of course, the second we pull it up, it starts accelerating into the downside. Circle, anything under 220 looks like a good short to me. As long as if it gets back above that price, I think you want to give it up. But if Open's not going to do anything and GameStop isn't really setting up, then Circle could easily be the one. Circle gets the square?
Yeah, maybe. I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, Neil, that is, thanks for bringing it to my attention, because this is what I was looking for, and a bit of continuation after this, somewhat, I guess, looking back at it, somewhat exhaustive move coming in on Friday. I'll push all the way up to 262's reversion, 100% reversion, to say the least. Pushing even further as we break that day low. We pulled down, I guess, 5% more down to, what is this, 222s and some change. 222.85 I'm seeing roughly as that prior day. Let's see what that low is specifically right here. So yeah, 35s apparently, 222.50, okay. So yeah, in and around that area, breaking that structure down now, holding a little lower underneath VWAP is Circle on the day today. What's up, Adara?
Listening to GME, guys, I did not see any insider purchases as of late to explain this. The most recent insider purchase I did see, which of course I'll talk about, was from July 1st. So that's almost a month ago now. A director by the name of James Grube purchased about just under 5,500 shares, 5,575 shares to be exact. That leads the value of the purchase to be 132,000 at the time they were purchased. But again, nothing to explain the numbers that were apparently being said in the chat. I could not find anything. The other most recent purchase before that was a director making a purchase back on April 10th. So 3 months apart, we had 2 purchases. I'm not seeing anything else, guys. Back to you.
I can answer this one for you in the chat here. Silky smooth. I wonder if Neil ever played drums. I did not. I actually played the piano when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not. Every time I tell someone I used to play the piano, they're like, really? I did a lot of stuff that my brother just did. I was very much, like my brother started piano lessons, and I'm like, well, I'm doing that. I want to do that too.
But my older brother?
Yeah, my older brother.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we used to play like duets and stuff together. And
that's really cool.
Like, we used to perform. We were in this like little kid concerto thing when we were kids.
Yeah. That's
kid
cool.
Concerto when we were kids. No, and I remember like our biggest, like there was like this like subdivision or whatever that was opening in our home city, Brampton. And so like I guess they have like the welcome center or whatever where they display the houses, and it was during the holidays, so they had like, they brought us in to like play like holiday music as people are perusing the new layouts for the houses and stuff. Cool. It was, you know what though, like it's a lot of work to try to learn to, it's one thing to play, it's another thing to try to be able to play, like playing in a group, and it's harder than you think. Because
Right.
it's easy enough to learn a piece and play something on your own, but then when you've got to be in time, in rhythm with other people, it's like incredibly hard, man. Like really hard. I wasn't very good at it, I didn't think. But we're getting into power hour,
boy,
and I want to
yes,
take
we
my
are.
shot at circle if I can. Yeah, it kind of sucks about open. Every time I'm like, a stock is about to break out, it seems as if I'm the jinx. So I'm just getting my orders on circle. Like I put the stop order to break long on this sucker, and then all of a sudden we're just, what the heck? There. Hit save, so I don't want this to go anywhere. We just broke trend.
Open, yeah,
Oh my goodness, you
those
just
sellers
saw me try
started
to
coming.
replay. I was just putting the trend line back on, and circle broke, and open broke the trend line. So this is going to be, I paid for locates, I know I did. Did I not?
Yeah, I swear, did we,
No,
for open?
Yeah.
No, open doesn't have, we don't have locates. There's no locates.
It's free?
Yes, we talked about this. I shorted it earlier.
Oh, I know why I couldn't.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
why I couldn't short? Because I still had my breakout stop long.
That's fair, yeah.
That's so silly.
Yeah, our system will not let you, like, intrinsically wash, yeah.
Right, so look guys, I still had my
my God,
long,
what a sell.
like if it breaks $5, look at this, oh, look at the
Waterfall.
acceleration. Now it's absolutely, this could halt. This could
yeah.
halt. This could easily halt. There's 380.
Wow,
You
that is
gotta-
beautiful action, dude. Oh my God, holy. I haven't seen stuff like this in the longest time. I gotta trade stuff like this more, Neil. Because I was watching that 5. I was watching the 5. That's absolutely
That's
this
unbelievable.
Thing is straight.
Like it just
sellers.
broke the
This
trend
will
line
hold
so
down
clean.
now. This
That
will
is
hold.
so clean. How? Okay, first of all, whoa. Okay, hold on. Why is it not halted? That's a dollar.
No, it's about to halt. It's about
that's
to-
a
this is
dollar
a halt.
down.
That's halt tape.
347.
That's halt tape.
347
46.
is the halt band.
There we go.
Right now. So
People are trying to jump in. Look at that ask. Oh my God, so thick. 347s. Oh boy. There it is.
I got hit on the offer.
Boom.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, we're in it now.
Yeah. I mean,
$1 later.
$1 later, yeah. God. It's funny. I was like, oh, shorts are free. Boom. Straight down.
I can't believe it. It's such a rookie move that I had my stop out break long still in there, because like if I had just canceled the stupid breakout order, then when I was trying to get short here, I would have gotten filled. There was plenty of liquidity. I'm like, why is it rejecting? Why is it rejecting? Why? Oh, that's right, because I have a buy order. When you use that kind of a stop order, it's a limit order in my book if the price breaks 5. So the system says you have a limit bid, you're not allowed to sell into your own limit bid. Even though it's a stop order, it's just a different type of stop that we use. Here it's a faster one. Anyways, let me manage this. Circle, my stop is in at 219 on circle while all this is happening. That's not, yeah, whatever. Obviously that would have been a good short, as suffice to say. So I'm gonna play this consolidation on circle. Bid in front of the low, which is about 217 change. If we break that, I'm just gonna have something out here in front of 215 as well. Just a pure consolidation breakdown play on circle. While we await open, what's the tap on open? No.
285.
285?
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna put half out limit on open, which is the Nasdaq stock. I'm literally looking up my limit on open key because I haven't
Oh, you haven't done that?
I haven't done limit on
Yeah,
open in a
fair,
while,
fair,
so
fair,
you talk while I.
You're right. Yeah, no worries. I got you on that. Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful, man. 347s halted down, and the amount of size just pushing it down, just holding on the ask was beautiful. Unfortunately, it didn't get in. It did break trend. I was watching it. I was like, watching the tape as well, excuse me, in and around 480s to 460s, aggressive sellers kept on stepping in, and I did have eyes on the tape, and I was like, all right, well, this looks distinctly different from earlier, so if you have recorded tape on this move on open, I would strongly suggest trying to see how this 5 failure to follow through pulled in. The tape was definitely a little distinctly different here, and then just started to just get aggressive back-to-back sellers just stepping in, stepping it down, and then finally just the whole thing just cracks. The push down in breaks all of this structure instantly in a single minute. That's absolutely beautiful here. Straight through VWAP as well. So yeah, that's putting a lot of people offside. Again, don't forget, so as of this halt, almost 1.41. I have 1.409 billion shares traded. So talk about the offside potential on this stock when you know most people have probably only been going long. There's no way you could have got, well, you could have definitely got some into the halt, but best believe you didn't have anything above 4.8s or 4.6s if you weren't shorting a bit of the front side into that 5 as well. So
you know someone, like there's shorters, like day trade shorters that are going to be.
That are going to do that.
Yeah, they're going to be over, they'll be millions today. There's going to be traders
easily
that make millions on this because that's, I can't remember the last time something this strong was that that clean of a break. Like that was so super clean, the break. You'll never, I shouldn't say you'll never, you should never speak in certainties, but
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I saw something that clean. I have a, wait a minute, oh yeah, I have a limit on open order. Why is it pricing down to 314? That's curious. Oh, I do have that. I don't need that. I have a limit on open order. I'm like, why do I also have a bid? Completely useless. I don't need a bid out there. I have a limit on open order. So again, like as long as it's reasonable, then I should be good. The tap is now saying $3. I might reprice it. Where do I want to go to? I might just play it by ear. I'll just be nimble. I'm not in anything else. There's really no need to be anything crazy. Although Circle did check up for a split second. Yeah. And I kind of double tapped it at the bottom. I don't know. Maybe the wrong decision, but I saw it start to hold 217 and I punched a second lot out and got it all out of Circle. I think I should join back in here. That's not a real, this isn't a real wick. Down. There's a lot of room for Circle to continue to fall. I want to clean these charts up a little bit for you guys. But like these could still be going even further. So open is going to be open in just a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So it should be open in just a matter of seconds, and we'll see.
It should open to, because it's a 5-minute halt, right? The last prints I'm seeing is at 3:202. Currently, it's 3:0723. So. It's yeah. I don't think it's I don't think it's a 5-minute halt. It might be a 10-minute halt.
Maybe it's going to be 10 minutes.
Yeah, if it's not 5, it'll be a 10 or 15-minute halt. But there's usually a procedure to this. You go 5. I think it's 5, 10, 15, something like that.
Well, it's 5 and 10, but after that, if it's past 10 minutes, then you just don't know. From my experience, I just heard in my ear something about Novo Nordisk. There. So CoreWeave, Circle continues to head to the downside. I know the market's pulling back in. And what is going on with, that's kind of funny. There we go. Novo is having trouble pulling that one up. No, it's not really moving. I had news earlier, but not.
It's an older story. I don't know why Benzinga just got it now. I just checked, but this is like a story that I reported during the midday. Basically what happened was the FDA announced that Novo Nordisk is going to stop, I guess, manufacturing some of its drugs as of December 31st, 2025. So well along the line, they also announced the discontinuation of certain Novo Nordisk insulins, again, as of December, at the end of the year. So either way, this is an old story regardless. Sorry to cut in there. I just wanted to provide that context.
Never apologize for keeping all of our viewers updated as to what is going on. That's what we're all about around here. So I didn't I looked at it and I'm like, what? There's a story here? And then you look at the volume spike. Well, that tells you. There you go. Old story. And I guess we're just hearing in our ear now. Sometimes they'll just repeat old stuff. So it'll be 10 minutes, which means we're not open back up on
till 12. 3 more minutes.
3:12.
Yeah,
so we have 3 minutes to go.
It should be the LUD-P, right? That's what I call them, LUD-Ps.
LUD-P.
LUD-P.
Yeah, it's a volatility halt, 100%. 100% it's a volatility halt on open. But we'll see when it opens back up. Looks like Circle did test 215. So if I didn't get out too early at 17, I'd certainly be out when it did this bottoming tail candle. So I think that short, at least temporarily, we'll look for somewhere else to take another shot. What was that sympathy stock for open? We were just talking about it. Oh, goodness.
ONAB. OPAD. Or something. There was a pad in there.
OPAD.
There was a pad in there. Oh, you called it.
In a gigantic
called it.
upset, the second open move down,
You called
lost
it.
bid as well.
Sympathy indeed, Neil.
Sometimes the easier thing to do. This was the theme. We used to do this all the time during meme stocks with GameStop. If GameStop did a curl or caught a bid and you missed the move, don't even worry about it. Just look out. It wasn't even AMC sometimes. It was always something like COS or BlackBerry back in the day. It's one of my favorite plays. Just be in the other stock, because what can happen is open. These are both 3-minute charts. Open started going exactly at 3 o'clock. Well, this was already good. So you could have had, look at this. You could have had this at 370. This was already going, it was weaker, but you could have had this at 370 when this is cascading to the downside and gotten yourself 10, 15%. You could have still gotten into this one underneath volume weighted average price. This is now bouncing. Looks like it has a decent chance to get a bit of a recovery. Open's indicating a $3.10 open. So yeah, my limit's still gonna be pretty good. I'm gonna be taking some out as long as it's underneath about 315 or so. I might move that to 3/4. The way this thing is bouncing.
Yeah, this market's coming in here as well, Neil. You can see that was an aggressive push down on both the ES and the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's coming into this prior structure here as well. So yeah, market tailwind definitely on the side of that move when open opens back up. TQ's pulling back into VWAP. I definitely covered a little too early. You can see I did get involved on the TQ short. I was calling it out a little bit earlier. Holding underneath this 89 morning high as well. Couldn't really get past that and started to, I guess, consolidate sideways. I saw some selling, got involved, and just taking the scalp back down into VWAP. Did not hold to VWAP, though. I got to do a little bit better with doing that, Neil. But yeah, this, I guess, if we're going to see this open, this should open in about 15 seconds here, Neil. So let's see what we have in store. If it's a 10-minute hold, it should open within 15 seconds. Well, now it's about 10 seconds. Let's see. There it is. Opened up right now. 310. That's not a bad open. That's not horrible. That's definitely not horrible. Nice. Yeah,
oh, it's already bidding up again.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll definitely chop around a little bit. First time it's halted today.
If it loses $3, I'm thinking 280, but it's already catching a pretty hefty bid. So, let's play this one by ear. Come on, get down to the low again. Get down to the low one more time. I feel like I should have taken more than, I've taken out 2/3 of it, and I feel like I should have taken more aggressively. When I saw that what's the OPAN?
OPAD?
OPAD. Yeah. When I saw that other one almost halting to the upside, felt like that was a little bit of a hint. Someone just jumped in at 330 for a big seller. Come on, push it down into 20s. Get it down into 20s for me.
Down.
Take some 20. I just took some 24s. Still holding on to a decent enough chunk. I want this to actually lose the bid. If it regains the halt price, I want out of Dodge. I don't want this thing going back up through the halt price. Now you're starting to catch a bit of a bid here. So if we go past break even, I'm now out, again, just over 2/3 of it. I'm out of it.
Started halting.
It could halt to the upside, but not before. It would break the halt price well before it gets there. All right, I'm out. Yeah, ooh, that was a good fill. I actually got break even. Get out of here.
Nice.
That's a great fill.
Watch out for the halt up, because
no, I'm already out.
Yeah.
If you're taking a halt trade, it's so different being short $4.50. Because if I'm short $4.50, and maybe you're holding on to a piece of it. If you're short $3.50, I was short in the absolute bottom in there, just looking to see if we could break the low. So I just held on to some for the dream. Open is probably a lot of people's best stock today.
Oh, yeah.
And with this kind of volume, 1.5 billion shares worth of volume, what a defense of $3. It's back to VWAP already.
Yep.
This stock cannot die. You can't kill it. You can shoot me, but you can't kill me. You know where that's from?
No, I have no idea.
Really?
It's probably some sort of, it's from a movie, right?
You know what you get for shooting a police officer? You don't know?
Jail?
Okay.
Jail time?
Nah, it's training day.
Oh, okay. Training day. Haven't I seen Training Day? I'm pretty sure I've seen Training Day. I don't know.
Obi, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you've seen Training Day.
I've definitely seen Training Day.
Of course you've seen Training Day.
That's when those two cops, they roll around in the car, they're solving something, and one of the guys is newer. Yeah, it's been a while. I
mean, that is a very vague.
Vague.
Yeah.
That could almost go for what? The other guys as well?
Two cops rolling around in a car and they solve something.
Yeah, they solve things. That's probably like pretty much every kind of cop.
Literally every cop
That could literally describe some Law and Orders. Come on now.
Yeah. Bad Boys as well, right? Especially Bad Boys.
I love you, Obi.
I love you too, man. 380s coming right back in. $4. We might even halt up right now.
If it halts up, it's the greatest stock of all time. You can't halt up after that. You're gonna halt up.
You gotta halt up now. Come on, come on.
King Kong ain't got ish on open.
Oh yeah.
You know that line.
No, I don't. I actually don't. Is that from King Kong? That's not from King Kong.
I need a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as these guys take a minute, Neil leaves the premise and goes home. Dude, what do you mean? I don't know. See, I'm not good with pop culture references.
Is it from King Kong? Is that from King Kong? You're See, this is the thing, man. He's trolling me right now because he knows, like, Obi knows that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
No, I know you know. Is that from King Kong?
I know you know that I don't know, but is it known that I know unknowns?
There were known knowns and known unknowns. You know where that's from? No, you don't.
Yeah,
Anyway,
of course. I know exactly where that's from.
Artemis, yeah, my man just said it's from King Kong. From King Kong.
That's from Transformers, right?
Okay, but in all seriousness, there's something very, very weird about the way that open. Like we've seen stocks. Look, I've seen stocks bounce like this before, but the way the buyers are stepping up here is this is impressive. This is very impressive. I'll get to this. I'll get right back to this in a quick second because I don't think you don't see this very often. But Rigetti, I wanted to short the consolidation under the prior low at 316.30, whatever that is, 36. I just got Larry Bird, so my stop is about here at 42, adjacent to that level. I'm actually going to move it a couple of shekels down because I realized it was a little too far away. But I'm just essentially playing it to the low of the range, and then I want to see if I can hold on through any kind of a bottom break. I mean, with the market pulling back, the quantum names have been weak this entire time. All right, there's open losing the bid a little bit here. What an unbelievable shakeout. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I've ever seen this setup breaking out the high the same day.
You want to place a bet on it?
To be short 350 and then long $5 in the same afternoon.
To see if $5 is hit on open today.
That's not a fair.
What would you say?
No, but first of all, that's not a fair bet because it just halted down and it's at 387.
Yeah.
Come on. Like that is like what odds are you giving? Like the odds are distinctly against it that I could break $5. So what are you putting up? Like 4-1, 5-1?
I'll say I don't know.
Of course, we're not betting real money.
No. I have to bet something else. 50% buying power. Go 50% buying power?
You can't even do that. First of all,
he's like, I'm not giving you my buying power.
For everyone that's
50% of yours for 50% of mine.
Absolutely cannot. You can't trade BP at a prop firm. It does not work that way.
Does it? I don't know.
You absolutely cannot do that. That's obviously we're not suggesting that's true. No, all I'm simply saying is it would be somewhat unprecedented for a stock to make this kind of a move and get back to the high, let alone break it. But I'm going to keep it up. That would be just insane if it could. And someone's saying just go long, Neil. I'm not rushing into this one to the long side. It's well under the break of the trend. It's only now starting to settle down. Like, see these candles? Unless you're in bottom wick or that one and I got in the hold.
Buys,
like, those are great buys down there. But up here at 380, I don't have an out. Like, I don't have an out that I can work with.
Yeah.
Like when I bought this dip here, my out is this candle. I buy 66 and my stop was at 59. I'm not sure where I'm putting my stop if I buy here. I feel like if I give it a tight a stop as I did up here, it's almost like a waste.
I mean, you got to give it to the low. I mean, real risk is to that candle to the open, right? To the halt open.
Like the halt open.
Yeah, but that's like if you're looking for high day, that's a 1-to-1.
That's what I'm saying. Like where you're wrong is so far down there.
That's the issue. Sometimes I'm finding. I'm like sometimes I feel like certain types of price action. I'm like this has a really good chance of doing this, but the R to R is like a 1-to-1.
It's terrible.
You know what I mean? So it's like it really. I'm asking. Okay, well, do I take a 1-to-1, high probability 1-to-1, or, I mean, I definitely do. I take high probability negative RRs as well.
Someone just says, Neil, you can't make sense out of nonsense. Go long. I am more than willing to go long highs on silly stocks. You gotta have an out. You gotta have an idea of what is it. Like, I bought the top earlier, and I was gonna take the breakout at $5. My stop order to take the break at $5 was in, and next thing I know, I'm shorting it $1.50 lower. Like, I don't mind doing that, but I know exactly what I'm doing when you short the halt, right? Like, I've got a limit order, and I know, like, I already had a stop. I had a stop order as well at this prior high. So the second it was above, when I took this trade, the second it was above like 358, I'm out of it. If it opens higher, I'm just automatically punched out. Because that's an easy trade to set up, because it's like either it opens in the money or it doesn't. If it opens down here, you're going to be fine. There was something else I wanted to get to. Circle's down at 215 and continuing to flush OB. That's not looking good. But the market's bouncing off the volume-weighted average price. The Nasdaq, I should say, is bouncing off VWAP. So here's the Qs, triple Qs on my chart, bouncing off VWAP. My first thought is Amazon. Yeah, Amazon, super strong. Remember in the afternoon on a Friday, we're like that 226 seller. Well, now it's gone. And so if you're just tuning in now, I've only been looking long, but we lost VWAP a long time ago on Amazon. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it back. If the market's bouncing from here, this might be worth a shot. Oh, that stock's halted again. All right, so I'm thinking, what do we got? 228.75-ish is next support. I can pick this up just underneath 229. I might see if I can weasel my way in to some Amazon as MFH. Yikes.
Who's that?
Now, that's halted to the upside. It didn't quite get to $1, though. Close. $1.30 before turning. Oh, wait a minute.
Dollar bounce?
Rewind the tape.
Hey, look at that.
What did we say? $1.30?
Oh, boy.
$1.30? Where'd it bounce?
$1.30.
137. No, 130, 138, and now halted up at 196. When in doubt, zoom out, everybody.
It's crazy how support and resistance works. This is, the bid is breaking here on open, Neil. Did you see? It's just coming right back in.
Go long, they said.
Go long, they said.
It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like sellers are in charge. I don't know if you were noticing this candle here, but certain types of participants definitely made themselves known. So unless and until this range breaks in any sort of distinction, I'm going to hold on. What's up, Adair?
Keep an eye here in Palo Alto and Sentinel-1 again. So in case you missed it earlier today, it was reported that Sentinel-1 was going to be acquired by Palo Alto Networks. Then Palo Alto Networks apparently said there was no truth to the report. Well, now there's more context. Apparently, Palo Alto actually never denied the rumor. They just simply said they're not going to comment on it. So we have an update here. This was actually initially misreported, not by myself, but just by the media. Initially, apparently they were saying there was no truth to the matter. Now, apparently the commentary is they do not comment on any rumor or speculation. So I guess, again, just to clarify, earlier it was reported that Palo Alto denied any talks of acquiring Sentinel-1. Now, apparently that is not the case. They're not denying it. They're just not commenting on it. Back to you.
That's a more normal response. Sentinel-1 doesn't seem to be bouncing too much on that.
That shake and bake was crazy, though.
It might not.
What a reversion.
19.
What more confluence and like confirmation and what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence do you need to take a reversion than the reversion of the news itself? You know, when the reason for the move is taken back.
Yeah.
You're looking for that price to do just the same, and Sentinel-1 is a perfect example of a textbook example of that kind of price action right here. Strong push, yes, and then all of a sudden, no. Coming right back in and normalizing pretty well there. So if you're there as a day trader, definitely something. If you're on your feet and you're quick, take a look at how aggressive the selling does come in once it does. Just wiping the move, just balancing the price. We talk about mispricing on Friday. I think we talked a little bit about mispricing, and yeah, definitely a case of intraday mispricing here. A beautiful reversion all the way from $21 down back to 19.5. Just these few bars trading over 1 million shares, and that's just on the Bats gate. So interesting stuff right there. A lot of opportunity in this market, Neil. I guess I'm looking for opportunity here on the TQs as open trades even lower here. Circle as well. Beautiful continuation happening. So is it backside on Circle?
On open.
On open? On the pop? Where did it hold? $4. Yeah, $4.
Exactly. I mean, you've
held
got
pretty
to be
clean, yeah.
For things to be that clean. Like, how often do you see it? 497 top, turns at $5, bounces essentially off $3, 305, goes to 4, right back in. This is going to be a lot of people punching 3 short, is my guess. And I saw in the chat someone said it's going to close underneath the 320 level. Ooh, Rigetti came all the way back up. Let me just very quickly Rigetti popped down, tried to get to the low of the day, and is right back in here. I'm going to tighten this stop up. Because the market's at VWAP, this seems like it could be holding. So I'm just going to tighten the stop to this low.
Apparently open had an offering. That's what it was. That's, I'm getting...
You saw that news?
No, I didn't see it, but Wayne just messaged me there like, I was like, oh, that move was so clean. And he's like, yeah, they had an offering. That I guess I can take a look at some of my sources in a second, but yeah, it seems like that is the case. And look, we're about to halt down once again at 278, Neil. This move is coming in quite hot. So yeah, that hold of $4 and giving her all back to the downside. False halt. Hello, that was a bit of a false halt as we pick right back up. So yeah, any shorts kind of getting pushed in at the end might be a little sweaty on that false halt down as we lick grab some of these morning structures back below $3. And $3 held pretty well on off of the open. So interesting action happening here on open. I guess they were open to raising some money today, Neil.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, come on. Like, you
the function of the market.
Well, you can't tell me you're up that much. Like, this stock was 40 cents at the beginning, 50 cents at the end of last month. In 3 weeks, they're gonna get this kind of gain, and they're not gonna raise funds. I mean, almost don't care what you do. Like, you're a penny stock's a penny stock for a reason. So, like, and I'm not saying they've done an offering because I flat out haven't seen this story. Let's go to Adair and see if we have any information regarding this as it plummets to $3.
Just be aware here, we do have Caroline Levitt, who's White House press secretary, speaking to press outside right now. She already commented on Fed Chair Powell, so should be a pretty exciting one. I will be listening to see if anything of note is being said. I also want to let you guys know I did look into this open door offering. I haven't found anything yet. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll take a quick look.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I'm willing, and I saw it in the chat here, 215 sugar-free said open after hours should be fun to watch. I'm inclined to agree. When you take away 1.6 billion shares in volume, and it's round-tripped it today, 3 to 5. Like $3 pre-market high, to $5, back down to 3, and this was a penny stock. There's no limit to what this could do back to the downside. Pretty nasty there on open. If you happen to be in this one, yikes, is all I can say, but it's not the only thing in the market. I feel like a name that kind of ignored today. We talked about Amazon holding on to 226 where that big seller was on Friday. Well, Apple had sellers at 212 the entirety of the week, and it's just trying to hold on to the close above that price. So this becomes a very interesting, not just this afternoon does it hold on to 212, which it bounced from huge off the morning, but can it do it the next couple of days? They don't report this week. We get Alphabet, we get Tesla, we get Intel as well this week, and Apple will have to wait. But all the selling that was holding this stock in a range, seemingly it broke away, but then all it did is make a top in the morning and trend down since then. That's not what I want to see when a stock is breaking out of a range higher. Like, I want to see it consolidate, at least hold some kind of higher low. It lost the first one at 213.5 there. The only thing I'm in is Rigetti. Open, for some reason, does not halt down a second time. How close did it come? I guess that's not fast enough. The speed with which it got from 4 to 3 was just not, it wasn't enough velocity for it to halt down the second time. It's about 330 in here. It wouldn't shock me if open also had a bit of an imbalance on it. I'm just going to get the early look locator up so you guys can see it. UI path, early sell, 2 million. Not that big of a deal. NEM, 1.1 million. Enbridge, who cares? And nothing too crazy on the locator. QBTS, 500,000 shares to the buy side, so nothing really standing out. The only position I'm in is Rigetti. And all I've done this afternoon was essentially try to short open at 450 and miss terribly. Shorted at 350, and my average out, like if you include the break even, like my average out works out to about 325 on that 347 short. So it was okay, but it could have been everything at $3 if I was a little bit more aggressive with it. And then this Rigetti, which doesn't seem to want to do anything. We're just holding the bottom of the range here on Rigetti. I'll probably get more out. If it's not going to move that much, then you should be taking it out. Let me know what you guys else are watching. Air is ready to go, Mr. Briggs said. Didn't that just fail $1? Yeah, it did. This was the one that failed $1, halted down. It's trying to go again. That dollar break could happen, but it's less and less likely. It's 330 now. It's feeling less likely that you're actually going to get this breaking.
Yeah, no, only about 30 minutes left, Neil. And yeah, I'm trying to go on the Edgar website, SEC.gov, and look for any filings that they potentially might have that we may have missed.
Oh, for open. Right?
For open, but yeah, I don't know. I can't really, I'm having trouble navigating the website right now. But yeah, no, that coming in pretty aggressively, that sell, very, very strong. I'm looking at the Twitterverse, and again, I'm sure everyone's coming up with some sort of idea of like who's behind this or what's happening right here. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? It's like what matters is can you effectively execute on the price action. At the end of the day, that is the thing that will make the difference, right? Regardless of what kind of opinion you may have of why things may be happening. But we'll be right back talking more about open. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, we had Caroline Leavitt here, White House press secretary, just finished her comments outside of the White House. A couple things that were said here is that President Donald Trump will not be firing Fed Chair Powell. She also said that there could be some more tariff letters ahead of August 1st. In case you were not aware, Donald Trump has been posting letters on Truth Social that basically address to countries with tariff rates, a lot of which do not actually align with the Liberation Day tariffs. Some of them are lower, some of them are higher. So either way, sounds like there could be some more letters ahead of that August 1st tariff deadline. She said also that August 1st will just be the start of the tariffs because that's the day that countries will start paying up. Back to you.
Good to know. That deadline is coming in. August 1st it's not that far away, everybody. We have a lot of earnings to get through first before we even get there. And I think that's going to be, I don't want to say that's a bigger deal, but until we get some more certainty or get any updates, that's going to be the story. It's going to be about earnings. I already saw Netflix have a bit of a disappointment that head to the downside last week, and all eyes on Tesla and Alphabet this week. Tesla having a rough go of it today, but it's actually flat on the day, despite all the selling in Tesla. Tesla's exactly flat. I saw a few people still mentioning Virgin Galactic, which was up today. Why in the world is Virgin Galactic up 10%, and why in the world is Virgin Galactic actually trending on the daily chart? One red day in the last couple of weeks, that would be at least a little bit strong for Virgin Galactic. It's kind of watching paint dry today, but if you've been watching open, then pretty much everything looks like it's watching paint dry in retrospect. I can't get behind. This was fun during the meme stock craze. I was part of back when you could buy anything and it would go up. I'm a nerd that liked the notion of going into space, so this is something that I swung and won and did the usual hold on to 10% that you shouldn't. But now it's in the other category of they're resorting to reverse splits and then dumping off the reverse splits. The good news is it's made a low since the reverse split. The bad news is that's one heck of a resistance coming up at 5. Initial stop after the reverse split, consolidation there, recent fail there, 200 underneath, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, I think you're running out of steam when you get to that price, and you'll be headed right back into the lower atmosphere when it gets to $5. All right, come on, Rigetti, give you one more chance to break down the lows here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a sideways day where all you could have done is get that short on open at 450.
Yeah, I mean, or we could have shorted right here underneath that 325, Neil. I did take it. I got back in, taking it back through that 3-day low, coming in at $2.50. I did get in, I guess, a little. I know I'm chasing. That's the thing. I'm just like, I know I'm chasing down here, so I do want to stay nimble. As you guys know, I don't normally indulge in stocks that are priced below $10, but when you're going to do this much dollar volume volume on the day, it makes no sense for me not to take a piece off as well. But again, getting a little bit better with those executions, just that continuation. Let's see if that can potentially come in. I'm very, very tight to this $3 level. Again, this could halt either way as of right now, but aggressive selling, continuation, low a day well within range. Pre-market lows coming in at that $2.51 as well. I guess day low is at $2.62, so about 30 pennies away from that. Neil on Circle. I was going to say Circle. Nice. Circle's another one that's been selling off pretty nicely on the day today as well. But finally back below this $3 mark. And yeah, Sugar-Free saying Obi was feeling left out. Yeah, a little bit. I was getting a little FOMO. I'm like, come on. I saw the $4 and I was like, dude, and then I saw this coming down. I'm like, this is going to go for low day. This is going to go for low day. This is going to go for low day. And then it starts to consolidate $3.20s. I'm like, come on. Now it's giving you a little bit of structure to risk off of. Do I take it through the $3 at the very least? Sure, it might not go into.
If you're looking for scanners, you'll certainly find the best ones for free for 1 month with eSignal. And I also promise you that pretty much every single volume scanner is going to be just blurting out open, 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 open. Most days you want a platform which is easy to use, where you have reliable data, where you can customize what features you want to add to it, where you can trade right through with multiple brokers, you can back test your strategies, you can set up scanners that you like, whether it's certain indicators, moving averages. You try it out. For 1 month is free. What's the worst that can happen, everybody? When you're trading, you're going to put the time and effort in anyways. So when someone offers you something free that could step your game up, you might as well take a shot. So check out eSignal, everybody. Yeah, you don't, like I said, you don't necessarily need a scanner to know what open is doing, but it wouldn't hurt in case you had missed it. So great short. It just feels like this one's looking rather heavy. Hasn't broken. It's not the low of the day is actually. I have 260, but
260s,
whatever.
yeah. Pre-market lows are 250s.
Yeah, it's like much earlier. Like this chart starts at like 6 a.m. So if you start a little bit earlier, it did get down to 250. That seems very reasonable. Only about 13 minutes to go until we get the imbalances coming through. I want to shout out to David Tretsiak. Whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
34% on puts that were hard to exit on open in an hour. Whoop, whoop. Hula hoop. Internet?
What?
Well,
Nice.
I'm gonna. That's sort of the thing. Like
thank you.
It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world when you have something going absolutely ham, and you could have execution problems. I think that's one of the things I like about real trading. But thank you so much for the super chat. And sometimes, and like I said before, sometimes it's not always obvious when the trend breaks. In this particular case, a stock like this, I'm surprised it was this obvious. I'm genuinely surprised that it was that obvious, but it was a miss. Anyways, I can get into it. Always check your orders and know what you have, what you don't have. I generally have a rule that I cancel my breakout. If I'm taking a break at 5, I will cancel that order if it goes 10% away from the price. So the second this was the second it was getting to 450, I don't even know why I still had that order out there that prevented me from going short. It was useless. It wasn't going to break imminently, so you just get rid of it. That's the right thing to do. I said Rigetti was running out of time. I took another bid in front of the low. It just barely broke the low of the day. I'm just going to sit in front of 16 on Rigetti. And I like the quantum names. I'm in QBTS. But this just feels like it's consolidating up here. And if it's doing a consolidative day, at some point you join the short. I did one long bounce play on this. It never broke out the top. So I'm just looking to get out in front of 16 bucks. So another consolidated day. As long as it holds on to this area, Rigetti, I think it's fine. If you lose 16 bucks, there's a huge gap to be filled. We'll see if we can get a little bit more out of this trade. As a matter of fact, I might go to 10s because it's only 20 minutes to go here, Obi.
Oh boy, yeah, this market. And when you're having fun, it's time will definitely fly, and it definitely seeing some of that today. I'm just like looking at the time, like 20 minutes left on the day. Oh boy, I did take a bit of an extended leave for lunch. It's gone for like about over 2 hours, I think. An hour and a half at the very least.
Gone a bit.
But the weather is absolutely beautiful today, so enjoyed some of that outdoors.
No doubt.
Open back at $3 here. Yeah, TQs doesn't really look like it's doing too much off of its VWAP right now, so just watching that one here. And somebody in the chat was like, Obi's in 4 positions, is that real? I'm like, yeah, it happens sometimes, every now and then. Especially some of those I just have, like I said, just for the reps, leaving on some runners from the morning and getting used to being like, getting confident in the morning, being like, okay, the probability of this being high a day or low a day is decent, so it makes sense for me to trail part of the position and give it the real risk, just to kind of get into a habit of taking it to the end of the day as well. But this TQ is relatively fresh right here as it's holding this VWAP. As VWAP held, it's taking a cheeky shot at a potential hold of this VWAP. But again, with the imbalances coming in about 9 minutes now, I do have to be a little wary about that. The market did pull back in quite nicely off of these highs here. You can see the ES pulling back pretty decently. Nasdaq didn't quite break structure. I was looking for it to break structure here at that 23,360 mark. Didn't quite come in at all. Monty G saying I'm trying to get better at that too, Obi. Yes, let's hopefully take the right, I guess, steps to get a little bit better. $3 coming back in. I'm just like, it's not really following through right away. The aggressive selling that we saw coming in off the initial flush and then the second leg off the $4 failure to follow through didn't quite hold below that $3 as I'd liked it to, and it's just consolidating above low of day as of right now. So that selling could potentially come in. Yeah, this volume is absolutely crazy. 1.7 billion shares traded. That's over, there's the alarm right there, hello. And that's over current price is $3, so you can just be like, all right, that's over $5 billion volume traded easily on the day. So up for grabs, 5 billion, sorry. You can take a chunk off of that if you'd like, and open is the arena to make that kind of move, right?
Apparently, Vanilla Man in America, interesting name there. You guys have not mentioned the party rock stock, LMFA. That's a fun stock.
LMFA, yeah.
No, we didn't. It's understandably, when you look left, or in my case, right, and every time I look over, like open is just moving so much, and you got to pick your spots. Like the only small cap I saw fit to trade today. Oh, that's not true. I mean, I don't know. I guess Rigetti qualifies. And I traded Lucid today. I made one trade on Lucid off that 280 level, but it's hard to look at something like LMFA because as a trader, you're gonna want to pay attention to the thing that's giving you the best opportunities. And it's not that this isn't trending up. It's not that it isn't making a move. It's up 50% on the day, but it's done 18 million volume compared to 1.7 billion on open. And there is nothing wrong with what's going on in LMFA. And if anything, I don't wonder if maybe this is a tomorrow thing, when you have this kind of a rounded bottom, a lot of times it's like, oh, it's so improbable that the stock could make that low and get back to the highs and break it out, that if it does happen, the shorts have potentially gotten a little bit too greedy. And the other interesting thing about it is if it breaks 540, you've got a clear 10% to the absolute top there. Like $6, anybody that's leaned into this from the recent move up, they've got to feel okay about it now because they've got the 6 level that held, the lower high 540 recently held. So they've got some cover if people are, when I say people, I mean hedge funds. I shouldn't say people. I don't mean retail. I don't think retail is very heavily short LMFA. But any of the hedgies that are short this thing, they probably feel pretty good to 540 and $6 right now. That'll be very different if we close above 5 and start pressing that one tomorrow. But that's a tomorrow story for me. Like today, I was only looking for opportunities in open, and it's kind of like a sorry, not sorry type of thing, because you don't usually see stuff like open, which is looking like it's heading right back down. When one dies, sometimes another one picks up, so that's another good reason why maybe LMFA might get a little bit better, for sure. Jake, why did open dip so hard? Some people have speculated, we've heard some speculation that there could be an offering. I've seen none of that concretely. All I saw is it was trending back into $5. pulled a dip. It was very clean into 460. It was trending back into 5, gathering momentum, looking like it was going to break $5. Once it fell apart, the day-long trend broke right here when it lost 450. So to me, like, it could just, that's a technical, it failed in front of $5 to break out, and a technical breakdown right here, breaking the trend line. Sometimes it accelerates when it breaks a trend line. In this particular case, I don't remember the last time I saw it just instantly halt down. And yeah, there are certain situations where shorting the bottom of a $1 candle on a $4 stock isn't completely stupid. In that particular case, it worked. You don't always want to do that kind of a thing, but it was so heavy, you figured there'd be some selling, and it did continue to go. So it could have just been technical with a lot of people looking for the exit on this. So much buy volume. There's a lot that had to unwind there on what was the big, I mean, it was the biggest volume candle in the day and then was dwarfed by the one on the open on not intended. All right, I just got out of Rigetti. So that's the other trade that we had on. Rigetti headed down to 16. You're like, oh, why get out at the bottom? Well, because this is what happened yesterday on Rigetti. Oops, I went too far. Sorry, yeah, Friday, you know what I mean. It bounced hard off 16 bucks. That's where the target was the whole time, just joining the trend. I liked it long early. Hey, pretty simple. We like it long bouncing here. When it loses that support, we look for a consolidation short into the low of the day. Keep it as simple as possible. Just a couple of things this afternoon, really. And Go Bill's asking what happened to Palantir today.
I think sold off, man.
Yeah, it broke 55 again and couldn't break the high. Here's what I think is happening. 3 minutes to go to the imbalances. Remember this trend that we brought out in the daily chart of Palantir? So here's your higher lows and higher highs on Palantir since it broke out in April. Well, it's gotten to the top of the trend line at about 155 and is running into resistance. It has been so respectful of this trend on both ends. So I'm starting to believe that it's not going to actually wick the top, and this could be the temporary top, and we wait for 140 to buy. That's the bottom of the trend line. So the last time it did it, I mean, it took like 3 days or 2 or 3 days to get there the last time, and each time it's gotten to the top, only 2 or 3 days. Took longer back here. You could see this retesting, and I'll keep it real simple, man. We get to the bottom of that trend line, I'm going long on Palantir. Keep it as simple as possible. Let's go to Adara again.
You just keep an eye here. Rivian apparently announcing on their website that they are opening an AI-focused London hub. So Rivian announcing on their official blog or website they're going to be opening a AI-focused London hub. RIVN. Shout out to our friend Randy. Over to you.
Yeah. AI-focused London hub. That's interesting. I've been thinking about getting one of those myself. 78.22s here on XYZ. So pretty much it just consolidated sideways all day. Markets finally breaking, Neil. I finally, I guess, covered that last little bit of what's it called? The Apple there. A little bit of a breadcrumb left, covering into the end of the day, pulling back into these opening range lows, which is pretty nice here. Going into these imbalances in about a couple of minutes, I do want to kind of, stay off, what am I trying to say? Risk off. I was going to say off risk. That doesn't make it. But risk off going into the imbalances. That was a nice hold on Apple. I got to do a little bit better with getting involved and continuing and re-engaging on trades that I already like. I liked that 215 failure to follow through in the morning session. We saw that aggressive bid coming in right off of the open and a little bit of extension. I would say maybe perhaps some would argue overextension, a bit of a squeeze through that 215 as well, giving some tape acceleration through it, a little unnatural action in my opinion, but I liked it. I liked it for the back through 215s, and then you could see that 215 supply kind of coming in once again with that lower high. Since then, those have been the highs of days, and since then we've also stepped down below VWAP and holding that as a bit of resistance as well. So I got to do a little bit better with re-engaging here, maybe even a little bit here and here as it pushes down, steps down, and reverts that aggressive morning leg. Takes all day to do it, but it's interesting that Apple was the only one that's really doing this kind of a dance, while the rest of its Mag 7 friends not really in step, holding up quite strongly on the day as well. Tesla, though, oh boy, that one was a bit of a miss right off of the open as it gets crushed.
It balances
All right,
out.
imbalances. What do we got?
Opens a small
Lucid.
buy of 1.3 million. Lucid's a buy of 1.7 million shares. BMO 1.5 million to buy. Nvidia 1.1 million to buy. Lyft 1.1 million to buy. What else we got going on? Let me scroll down. A bunch of stuff under $1 million. Walmart sell of 890,000. So I guess the headliner, if we want to call it that, would be Nvidia at 1 million and Lyft at 1 million. 1.3 million to buy on open. Well, I mean, I don't need to tell you. I mean, look, it's bouncing off of that number. But if you don't think 1 million can pair off on a stock that's done 1.75 billion shares on the day, I got to think about this one for a second. I don't know. There's a chance that maybe, I don't want to say things, you don't want to speak in certainties when you don't really know for sure. There's a decent chance that open might have been the volume leader on the markets today.
Yeah.
At 1.75 billion shares. Obviously it was. There's nothing like it. You don't see this all the time. We saw Mullen do this a while back, but Mullen was a penny stock when it did this. It wasn't a $3 stock at all. Super impressive run here for open. And a small buy and balance looks like the shorts that eventually won out, they got to cover at the end of the day. And you got to figure a lot of the longs did their covering. But what an unbelievable amount of buying when this opened up at $3. That was insanity that we saw. Absolute insanity. And John Vandaway in the chat just brought up a name, Hood bounce off 105. Okay. Obi, you even look at Robinhood today?
Not even.
Neither did I. Not even a cursory look.
What is good in the hood?
On Saturday morning, I was going to the track, get a workout in before we went to the baseball game. But we also knew that going into the index was block instead of Robinhood.
Right.
And my first thought was, Hood's going to gap down on Monday, and I'm going to buy the dip on Hood. And then what didn't happen? Hood didn't gap down. And then it sold off because everything else sold off. But I was just thinking, this is going to gap down, and I don't care what support level it's at. I'm going to buy whichever support level comes first. And then it didn't gap down on this. So some disappointment. It ends up selling off because a lot of things in the crypto space and fintech did sell off. So I think it just followed along. Bit of a disappointment. Robinhood will probably get their turn. You never know how these things are going to play out. I know there's some investigations going on in certain places with them, and maybe that had something to do with it, or it could just be it was blocks time. I don't know. Ultimately, other people make those types of decisions. So it's still a good upward trend on Robinhood, but seems like it's coming off the backside of it. And let's be real. It hasn't even broken this trend. It's such a very strong stock. Where is it breaking trend? Under $100. That's even just ballparking a line of best fit. It would probably have to break 95 or something. Maybe even 90 to consider this breaking trend. That's a bad boy you got there with Robinhood. Oh, Nimrod. Thank you so much. It's Nimrod. 150 shekels. My next super chat might be in person, landing in Toronto in 10 days. Hope I'll get a chance to meet you guys. Hopefully the floor looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
Some renovations going on there. Also bearing some cool gifts from the Middle East. Oh, appreciate you.
Nice.
Hey, look, when you come through, if you visit, you don't have to bring us gifts. We can get you some swag or something. But no, it'd be cool to meet you. Thank you for all the super chats, and thank you for all the kind words over the years. We easily have the best trading community, not just on YouTube, anywhere I know. I mean, whatever. I've been trading for a very long time. The level of positivity that's in this chat on a daily basis, the level of the quality of ideas and names that get thrown around there, the quality of discussion. I'll come in, I'll put up the chat in the pre-market, and I'll see you guys discussing things that I'm not even looking at. And sometimes I'll get ideas from just watching you guys in the morning. It's like, hey, good idea. I didn't really think about that stock, and then we're jumping on over to it. So we're all here to just help and get better. Only have 5 minutes to go, and let's see what you got going on, Obi.
Yeah, so with Trade the Pool's swing trading programs, you can get access to up to $40,000 in buying power to trade real shares, not CFDs. You can hold positions overnight, over the weekend, and enjoy limited risk thanks to a one-time evaluation fee. No monthly payments, no hidden costs. Take Vincent, for example, one of Trade the Pool's swing traders. He's already locked in $23,000 in profits. His top performer, NMAX, he shorted it from April 20th to May 30th and pulled in a $6,777 gain. That's lucky. Trade the Pool is giving swing traders the tools, the time, and the capital to thrive. Scan the QR code and enjoy 10% off. Pretty crazy. 777s on at the end of your P&L. That's pretty lucky.
That'll work.
Yeah. No, 5 more minutes left until the closing bell, just under, and have the markets pulling back pretty aggressively going into the close. So yeah, that Apple short coming right back in. XYZ didn't really trade in any sort of direction. It was pretty much just within this block of range, 79s to 77 halves, it would seem, on XYZ. So didn't really do too much, but Apple, decent push all the way back down. Didn't really quite break low of day just yet. That's coming in at, okay, I have 209s here. Oh boy, I don't think we dropped down to 209s on Apple. What is that opening range low, you may ask? I'll see right now. The first 15-minute candle, that's 211.63. So 211.63, we're quite a ways away from that. That's all the way down here. That wick low is real, so that 211.63, and XYZ, yeah, still within its range. Beautiful reversion on the TQs. I did not stay involved with that reversion right here. You can see, oh boy, we came all the way down to 88s, eh? So yeah, I had the reversion and I took a cheeky flip long on top of VWAP, and that sell came in aggressive, and I was like, oh boy, stopping me out instantly on that flush below the structure, which is fine, but good reason to sell and strong reason for continuation as it confirms even more the selling that started a little higher just below that high a day underneath $89 on the TQs. So interesting stuff, nice follow through that structure break, and about it, we're getting almost, I guess, almost a 50% reversion of this leg that we had in the morning session as well here on the TQ. So beautiful opportunities or I guess across the board. Nice. I'm not going to say your name out loud, but it's this guy, STFU. Yeah, but odds that Powell tanks the market tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, of course, we all know that means shut the front door.
Of course,
right?
it does. Powell has a speech at 8:30 tomorrow morning, because why wouldn't you have the Fed chair open up? You know, it's basically, look, Powell knows that he has to time it exactly when the show starts for us in the morning, so we can get that. So we can get that good. So it's nice of him to do that. But chance that he tanks the market, I'm going to say he will not tank the market.
Yeah,
no, what Powell says is not going to.
I think people will react to what he says. I don't know if he's directly tanking the market by pressing the sell button. You have to understand that people react to things that are said. Algos react to things that are said because the market is forward-looking, right? So yeah, it's.
I mean, the stance hasn't changed on the Fed. So I can't imagine what could he possibly say that would be any different from what we've been hearing from him and the Fed for the last few months, right? So again, I'm not really expecting too much of anything out of him.
He's just doing his job, yeah.
But I'll tell you this much: at 8:30, we'll probably have a level 2 open up on open.
Oh yeah.
Because that, with the closing print as an outside chance of getting to 2 billion shares, I got to mosey on up to the desk. Join me in the aftermarket show. We're going to have, obviously, it's always a fun show, myself and Adara, as always, and we'll be joined by Michael Noss as well. Lots to go over today, not just open. With 1 minute to go, I just realized I should already be at the desk and setting up. We'll see you. Yeah. Good show again today. Hopefully open is just as exciting tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely open for all the possibilities that open may have and all the opportunities that may open up for us tomorrow. So yeah, it's a good one for sure. Lots of volume traded, and yeah, #1 stock that you guys picked on the day today. The most mentions out of all of them by far there. So I'm seeing that we're almost down to the wire here. Yeah, 30 seconds left. So market taking a bit of a pullback going into the close here, guys. So hopefully you guys have had a solid day today. I will be back with you guys tomorrow for one more day until Sean is back here on Wednesday. So thank you all for being here. We got about 10 seconds. I got to put the timer on. It is a little bit delayed, but we got about 5 seconds. Thank you, Adara, for bringing us all the news in such a timely manner as well. 3, 2, and 1. There it is. There's the bell, guys. So thank you all for joining us. Yeah, Stuart saying thank you, Obi, for opening up. Yeah, thank you as well. Trust me, the open puns, they've just begun. One would say we're just opening up, but okay, I'll stop. That's a lot there. But coming into the end of the day, the market did take a bit of a sell-off. Interesting start to the beginning of the week. I'm going to be continuing to watch some of these names. Circle, yes, it is continuing off of prior day's action from Friday. We had that full-on reversion, 100% reversion that happened. Of course, we're going to be looking at block maybe coming in tomorrow. Today was just consolidative, pretty tight around that 79, 78 as well on XYZ. And something else, of course, that we're going to keep an eye on is open. Some of these largest volume leaders. I'm curious to know, is this a $5 failure to follow through on open? Are we open to fresh prices even lower if we do break down? We're coming up all the way from sub-dollars not even a couple of weeks ago here on open. So beautiful stuff, to say the least. Strong action on the day. Hopefully no one got caught offside, but it is what it is. The market is a wild place, and stocks like this sometimes can become the wild, wild west, and that is why I love them even more sometimes. And like I said today, I felt the need to get involved because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense if I get it. I know I'm chasing. I know I'm getting in really, really late. Ideal entries were probably a little bit higher. If you had any of these, the tape, like I said before, I wasn't recording my screen right here, but if you were recording your screen and you have the tape from this selling that kind of started and then relate that to this and look at the relative difference, the distinctly different kind of action that starts to come in before the trend even starts to break. And then when it does, all these sellers just start piling into the bid. It was absolutely beautiful. Straight crack through VWAP, telling you with significance that, yeah, definitely the average player may be offside on the day, closing near day lows. So let's see if that continues and we get more of the same with open tomorrow. But without any further ado, I know they're waiting for you guys at the desk, so don't go anywhere. It is Neil and Adara with your market recap. Earnings season is still hot. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.
Thank you, Obi. Your market recap brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex, starting right about now. And Obi, you can talk as long as you want. This ain't network TV, everybody.
It is not.
Trader TV Live is all about what is happening, what's moving. It isn't like, oh, at 2 o'clock we're going to talk about this, and at 2:45 we're going to do this segment. No, like the only time we do stuff scheduled is if, I don't know, like you have a Fed announcement coming in, like that you can't do anything about that because the market's going to move on Jerome's time at that point, or economic data comes out, we're going to cover it. But there's not much in the way of earnings tonight, Adara. But the big story over the weekend was Robinhood. No, it was not Robinhood going into the S&P 500. And I feel, look, I don't even own Robinhood shares, and I'm feeling for everybody out there because I know a lot of traders, a lot of our community. Anytime we ask the question, who's next? Who next? It was Robinhood that was overwhelmingly was the answer. Instead, it ends up being Block. Block did have, if you look at it, we gapped up certainly and had a pretty good move over there. It got as high as like almost to $80. But then when you look at what happened, mostly sideways action after holding the gap and just going sideways. Doesn't break back out, never reclaims $80 and holds on to 77. So a bit of a mixed day. It's better than what happened. I mean, Datadog was an example of something just selling off after it. That's when we got the news it was going in the index. So not that bad for Block, but yeah, disappointment for everyone that holds Robinhood. They didn't get what they wanted.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Datadog popped day one. Coinbase popped insanely day one. TTD sold off day one. But, you know, like XYZ just kind of chopped on day one, though Obi did have that long. I know Joe was trading this a bit as well, so shout out there. One thing as well that I was going to say is it's not only Robinhood. I would actually argue app-loving shareholders are having an even worse time because app-loving has been slated to maybe be added to the index for at this point almost a year. And every time we get increasingly random names instead. TTD was legitimately one of the worst performers in the Nasdaq in the first half of the year. Like did not have a good time. Much like our friend XYZ, down on the year. I am getting increasingly confused as to what the S&P is doing. Is there a vendetta? Is there a conspiracy? What is happening to Robinhood and AppLovin?
I'm thinking, I don't know. Like sometimes you know that they've got something. It might just have to do with what sectors and what segments of the market they want to go up. I think that's why, like AppLovin certainly has been talked about a heck of a lot longer. But when everyone's sort of thinking in the fintech and crypto space, in that bucket, I think that's where Robinhood shareholders are going to be like, really? Block over us? Block is maybe not seeing as much growth as they had in the past, but you're absolutely right about AppLovin. Maybe it's just going to take some time. They probably have to work through a few other sectors before they get their love, but don't worry. That's been slated to get in for quite some time around here. What's crazy, no KK, no one's crying about SoFi. I own SoFi shares, and SoFi is, you know what, I don't want to say it's nowhere close to getting into the S&P 500, but like it's not even, if you, as a SoFi shareholder, that is not the thing that I am worried about right now. I'm just wanting it not to pull back after earnings. That's where we're at with SoFi, all right? We just, when earnings come through, what are the 29th? So in is it exactly 1 week? What day is today? A week and a day. We get earnings a week and a day in SoFi, don't lose double digits. That's where I'm at with SoFi after the run that it's had. I'm not worried about inclusion in the index. But when you talk about the story of today, Open took so much attention because of the volume and the volatility and all that good stuff. But you forget that Meta resumed trend, closing nicely, bouncing, a little reversion of the down move that it put in there. So that was very, very strong for most of the day, and a solid day overall by them. Alphabet with a strong day. So they're going to be reporting this week. Of course, we get Tesla as well. A little bit of a different story for Tesla, Dara. Ahead of their report, this is going to be a big one. You know, all the attention. Unfortunately, too much of the attention's been on Elon Musk recently and what he has been saying or tweeting, as opposed to the company. Everyone wants to hear. We know the sales numbers haven't been great recently. We want to hear about forward. We want to see what's going on with autonomous because that's the big story for them. It was up today, but just barely.
So I actually think we don't want to know what's happening forward, Neil. I would argue it's the exact opposite because all Elon does is tell us what's going to happen 2 years from now, and then 2 years come and it hasn't happened. I think, and I'm going to be honest, this is an unpopular opinion. I apologize to Tesla bulls. I have nothing against Tesla. I have nothing against Elon. I am just fully saying factually the matter. Tesla's earnings tend to respond better when Elon doesn't speak. And this is actually true. I remember my first ever Tesla earnings report, October 2023. When I was at the company, I believe it was October 18th. I remember, like, the earnings themselves were whatever, but Elon's like, yeah, we're not going to grow. It's going to be bad. And then the market didn't like it. There's also, I did an infographic on this back in 2018. I believe it also might have been the October Q3 report. He called analysts boneheaded, blah, blah, blah. Like, Elon talking during earnings report has not historically been great.
What's hilarious is there was actually a moment, it was a time period where which he said, I'm no longer going to speak on the calls.
Really?
That didn't last very long. No, seriously, because this was a real phenomenon.
It's clearly,
and Tesla bulls didn't like it. And then there was a little bit where he said he's going to not talk on the calls. That flat out did not last any time. But at the same time, they have been moving forward with, there had been positive updates with autonomous that they can be talking about, they can be emphasizing. There have been some breakthroughs in robotics that they can be emphasizing. There is a tone that could be taken, because I feel like this time, if he speaks about the positivity only and doesn't make any political comments, I think that would be received well just before what he doesn't say. But that being said, Tesla with a pullback for most of the day, I do like the fact that you're breaking the 50 and the 200, kind of forming a wedge, so it's just basing out into earnings where it's not a distinct upward trend, it's not a distinct downward trend, it's essentially short-term downward trend and a longer-term, I guess, bottom from the 220 level on Tesla. A lot is certainly weighing on that call for sure. I understand the point. Like, I remember when people were saying, don't talk in the call, don't talk in the call. And I was kind of with it because it was never any good. But I do feel like if he can speak on this call and he can keep the focus on robotics and autonomous, that would be a positive. Because
it would.
Him not saying things you don't want to hear, I think could drive the stock higher alone. We know the sales numbers aren't going to be that fantastic, but let's just see what happens. Our job is to react to earnings. I know we're going to have Michael on in a quick little second. There's one last story or at least theme that I wanted to get to, because it was all that speculation regarding SentinelOne and Palo Alto. And interestingly enough, Palo Alto denying, of course, not denying, saying they will not comment on any possible takeover talk with SentinelOne. And yes. SentinelOne got a big spike. What's interesting about this stock is it's just breaking out on this daily chart. Like, you could easily, there would be the trend line. It's not that hard. Come to my chart for a quick second. Like, I don't even need to draw this. That would be the trend line on SentinelOne. Very clearly broken it and above the 50-period moving average. This seems like a pretty good shot play if you're just long in front of 19. If there is a deal, I mean, you're not that far from the low. Your risk is to $17. I'm kind of liking it myself if it can hold that level. And if there is a deal, you never know. Like, this could be in the 20s. You get yourself a nice little pop upside. One of the lagging names in an overall strong space. But let's get out of here. It's spoiled it. If you've never been here before, then you know who's coming in. It's Monday, everybody. You know we got Trader Talk. You know we got the NOS Boss. You know we're talking Fartcoin? No, we're not going to talk about Fart. Are we? Possibly? Maybe. We'll see what happens. We get some Trader Talk, the NOS Boss in the house. Michael, good to speak to you once again. Another wild day in the market. First of all, I hope your trading day went well. And I have no idea whether you saw this, but if you didn't see it at some point, pull up a chart of that open stock. That was insanity today. Insanity.
You could not have gone on Twitter, I don't think, without looking at that open stock. And it was pretty crazy to see. I saw someone post a monthly chart with Bollinger Bands on it, and it hit the upper Bollinger Band on a monthly chart after being at the bottom Bollinger Band of the monthly chart on the open, which is just crazy. That means it's a 4 standard deviation move on this stock that's really only a couple years old. Just wild.
Insanity on like 1.8 billion shares of volume, which you pretty much don't see. It finally had a hold down when it basically lost the trend, and complete insanity. The first question, I want to talk to you about the broad market and some other things as well. But my first question to you is, it's very unprecedented when you see that kind of volume on a stock with that kind of a move, and it's not that old of a company. And I know everything that you do is based on, it's data-based, right? Like, you're doing back testing and long studies. Would any of your day trading strategies have anything to do with that? Or is that the kind of situation where it's just so unique, it's a bit of a unicorn for you, and you're more collecting data than anything else?
I would be willing to bet. I don't know yet, and I need a little more time for the data to settle, but I'd be willing to bet this is going to be on the day trading list for tomorrow.
Okay.
Swing trading, absolutely not. Actually have filters in place to remove things like this for any more than a day hold, because this is one of those names I would not at all be surprised if you see like an offering come out in the next bid and it's, 50% down or something like that. But when it comes to a lot of what we're doing at day trading, because I talked about this morning with the 24-hour markets coming in, I want to be able to know everything in advance and put out my orders in advance and everything. I often queue off of large volume and large moves, which this has both of them. The beauty of it is if we end up trading it tomorrow, it will be one of 40 potential setups, and everything scales based off of the risk of the security. So if I do trade this, it will be so small, probably taking maybe $1,000 of open or something. Nothing really that's going to upset me one way or the other.
Yeah, I think that makes a heck of a lot of sense. One note we were talking about the 24-hour market, and I actually think, because the risk of some of these, like the rug pull on on an offering, I would tend to think that for a lot of traders, in the 24-hour market might be a little bit better for the swings, because one of the fears about the offering, of course, is that, well, it happens, it's an overnight thing or in the morning when you're not trading. But I think if everyone's in tune to the whole 24-hour game, you can have some kind of a trailing system set up, which is likely to less likely to have you be burned, because everyone's going to have all of their features. I mean, look, no broker is going to be able to survive if it's saying you can't have your trailing stops working for you at all hours, right? Like, it's not going to be this nonsense. You can only do it this time to that time. So it could make these types of things more appealing. So I think we all want to be ready for that, because one of the worst things that can happen in that type of a stock is the offering. I've said this for holding these swings. It makes everything that you do in terms of technicals completely useless, because the likelihood of you getting a fill on one of those candles is pretty low. Let's talk about the overall market for a second, though, because it's on a day where there was, I think, some strength in some of the big cap tech names. We've been on this relentless grind higher that made another leg on the Qs today, just continuing to go, and we're so incredibly strong. But it is, and you're going to see me, I'm spoiling this, but you're going to notice the Russell, IWM, the Russell here did not play into that strength. Some of that catch-up trade where you're looking for things to get dragged up, it just did not happen here for the Russell. So we had some strength in big cap as we're going into some of those highs, but it just feels as if we're lagging a little bit here. There's a lot of chop, there's a lot of sideways action in this top, and I'm wondering what your take is on this.
Well, so part of the problem with the Russell, that we all know, is it kicks the best players off its team, right? So it will always do a lag, I believe, and just the nature of it. We are living in a world where large cap rules, and if your whole setup, your whole prospectus is that as soon as a company gets really good, you kick it off your index into another index, it makes sense that it is going to lag a little bit. The other part of it that we talk about all the time is the Russell is very interest rate sensitive. Apple does not care if you're going to get a 5% interest rate or a 3% interest rate or 10, as long as they know what it is. They have so much capitalization and money and all of that. They've got so many ways that they can exploit high interest rates or low interest rate that they're not really going to care too much. The Russell 2000 is a lot of smaller companies, and these companies are just trying to fund operations while they either, if they're banks, they're trying to get that interest rate spread. If they're biotechs, they're trying to fund the next drug. If they're quantum computers, they're trying to build something that doesn't even exist. These things become very hard in an high interest rate environment. So I think maybe you'll see the IWM start to catch up as things continue to move higher. And I think right now it's just kind of like an interest rate proxy, where if you're going to get a big move in IWM, it's going to be because there's some sort of event that takes place that has the market reframe what it thinks about future interest rate cuts. And, to my chart that I have on the screen here, the reason I think we're in this slow grind higher, and the reason I think we're going to continue, is this is just a chart of the ES, or the S&P 500. And this green line right here is the large institutions and their overall positioning. They're not only still net short from the tariff tantrum lows or whatever you want to talk about, they are getting more short, and they are shorting further as the market goes higher. So as this grind continues, we're going to get more and more funds that are going to need to cover. So we're kind of in this perpetual short squeeze of the overall market, where I'm sure there's some funds that are getting liquidated, and then there's other funds that are coming into short, and they're wrong as well. And quite often these guys are quite a bit wrong, but this is crazy, especially considering it might be hard to see this blue line right here. This is the small institutional trader. This is us, right? This is the normal guys. We are actually long, not as long as we were kind of way back here, but we are long and getting longer. So this is one of the rare times that you see the retail guys get it and the institutional guys get run over. The unfortunate thing is the institutional guys are a lot bigger. unfortunate for them, it's great for us, that as we move higher, if these guys continue to be wrong the way they are, it's just going to lead us higher and higher. So until this line that updates every week ends up getting positive again, I don't think there's really anything that can stop us.
That's what we all like to hear. We're all bulls at heart. I guess there's a few notable exceptions. I don't know if Michael Burry's watching the show. I'm sure he probably thinks otherwise, and he takes his shots at it. But okay, there's one small cap that I know you like, or a smaller company that I know you like. And when I heard that and we've talked about this one before, the weekly chart on MindMed looks quite good. And just give us your thoughts on this, because everyone always tries to catch a bottom on things. And other times you look for the rounded bottom. This one has a heck of a rounded bottom happening on the higher time frame. So there are some smaller names out there that can squeeze as well. Give me your thoughts on what looks like a good runner.
Yeah, so I was turned on to this stock as it broke out of this rounded bottom from kind of a system I ran all the way back at 5, and it was an amazing trade. It shot almost till 10, like, in 2 weeks, and that was great. But it got me kind of looking at it a little bit further, because I have a rule: if I ever get a double, I sell half, and then I've been just kind of accumulating through this after I did some reading on it. And MindMed and the psychedelic sector as a whole is really interesting to me, because they're not going the route that the marijuana sector went. Although that chart looks kind of interesting right now, overall it really has been a complete disaster. And they went for, let's legalize it, let's let everyone do whatever they want and have fun. That kind of created a commodity behind a lot of these things. MindMed and all these psychedelic companies, they don't want legalization. They don't want you to be able to walk down to the local store and grab this. They're looking to replace SSRIs. They're looking to replace antidepressants, anti-anxieties, all of these things. So they're looking to be actual clinical drugs where you go in and there's a doctor in a white coat, and you go on your little trip, and the results have been amazing. So again, as a stats guy, I love reading studies and all of that. And a lot of these, it's you go in one time every 6 months or so, you have your little treatment, and away you go. So that's what got me interested, from, again, as a guy who's not really a big story guy or a fundamental guy. That's what got me mostly interested, because I think we've all had someone who's been, had problems with depression and anxiety, and what we have now is bad, and these things seemed a little bit better. Now, from a long-term chart, there's a couple things that are super interesting. One is just kind of this cup and handle look. And a lot of you guys know how much I love these cup and handle styles. It means essentially the stock has stopped going down for a period of time, consolidated, it's pushed back up, and then consolidated again. So it's the first step of what could be a major uptrend. That, and the fact that this blue line right here is the anchored VWAP from all-time high. And I talk about that a lot as well. It's a sentiment shift. If you started buying MindMed at the worst possible time, at all-time highs, and you started dollar cost averaging in 4 or 5 years later, so you had to wait a long time, you're about to get flipped positive again. So that's what's really interesting to me. Now, I will say, if you like the story, but you're worried about stocks that are going through phase 3 trials, which they're doing right now, PSIL is another holding that I have right here. And this is just a psychedelic ETF. So it's actively managed. So that means that there's actually a manager in there who's reading all these, and he's trying to allocate weights based off which ones he thinks are the best. And I bought a little bit of this on Friday and a little bit more today, because it has this clean resistance at kind of $16 it's been dealing with for a long time, trying to get through that anchored VWAPs at 17. And part of this is a hunt for what's next. At some point, AI will be kind of overdone, or at least priced in, we could say. And I'm looking for what sector's next. And that's kind of a long rant of why I like the name. Again, full disclosure, I want to tell everyone I am in a whole lot of MindMed and a whole lot of this PSIL, like an irresponsible amount. So I'm definitely talking my book here.
Ooh, well, look, I'll tell you. Well, it's fair to say I own some MindMed from way back, but I consider myself more in the bag holding end of it. I think at the end of the day, we can talk about the quality of life and the positive, hopefully, things they're able to accomplish. But just from a complete charting perspective, the reason I wanted to bring that one up was we've seen a lot of, Open stands out, but there was like a half a dozen other serious runners today with decent enough short floats. And so when something is approaching a big, like that cup and handle, the 1050 breakout is imminent, this is something which could have a move maybe tomorrow. Like I'm just looking at this daily chart, and when you zoom in, that like the weekly showed it was making the bottom, but on the daily, it's like we could be breaking 1050 tomorrow. Like I could easily have that on my note tomorrow, and all it would take is one positive headline, for sure. Before we get you out of here, there's a question we have from Deep Tranquility. I'm going to be putting you on the spot here because I haven't heard you talk about Robinhood. I know you look at the crypto space in a general sense, but Deep Tranquility is curious. Can you please ask Michael what's a buy zone for Robinhood? Now, of course, Block got into the S&P 500. Robinhood didn't. Oddly, Robinhood was down 4 or 5 points today, but it wasn't down at the open. It didn't gap down on the disappointment. It actually held. It just fell with the rest of the crypto-related names as a lot of things came in. Circle came in a little bit. So I know we got a lot of questions asking specifically, hey, where do you buy Robinhood? Because it hasn't really dipped for more than a day or two.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here. These charts are the hardest. For me, these charts are kind of leave alone. So, full disclosure, I'm in a whole bunch of Robinhood. Again, cup and handles. You know, William O'Neill, if you haven't read How to Make Money in Stocks, definitely do that. It's a great way, a long-term kind of investing pattern. I don't know if it's really a short-term pattern, but it looked great when it did there. I love the company. I'm sure the viewer who's trying to get in likes the company as well. I think they benefit from, the fact that there will be 24-hour markets. They're already there. They benefit from the crypto side. They benefit from a lot of things, and they seem to just be firing on all cylinders. Like the tokenization thing they're doing is really cool. However, right, you're right. We haven't really taken a breath in the last, 50, 60% rally since we broke, not all-time highs, but, the closing all-time high of this date right here. That's what this kind of $67 area is. I don't see anything that I could potentially do in Robinhood right now. It's just too far overdone. Again, I'm long, but I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who's just looking to buy. From a short-term basis, you had this consolidation right here around the 90s. If we come back and test that, that's great. You could, maybe anchor a VWAP to the breakout candle, and that's sitting around 90 as well. You could look for a pullback into that zone. However, when I look at this, for me personally, if I was just looking at Robinhood today and looking to make a trading decision, I would have to just go, I missed it, and go outside and kick rocks and be a little mad about it, and then look for something else to trade just because, I think you may have missed that. Now, that's something else to trade. I don't know. Might be Webull, might not, right? It's the same kind of area, the same kind of competition. Maybe you take a look at that, see if that kind of tickles that same part of the portfolio you want to put Robinhood in. But when something's that stretched, it's like wake me up when the thing gets a 30% haircut or something, and we'll talk.
Okay, well, now I have to disclose that I am long. Sean's even long Webull underneath $11. I did not know you were going to say that. I did not know you were going to say that, Michael. But it's funny because part of why we did it is because we both missed the Robinhood move. But that's neither here nor there. Michael, what I appreciate the most about that answer is a lot of times we get these questions, and you kind of know some people, you like the Robinhood stock, you're looking for a reason to buy it. And I appreciate you not just going out and trying to give an answer that everyone wants to hear. It's that level of honesty and integrity that we appreciate you bring to the show, as always. Best of luck in PSIL and in MindMed. And of course, hopefully, I hope Robinhood goes to the moon, and hope our viewer can find a way into it. Because even though I missed the move, I'm not sitting here hating on anybody that's caught this, and good luck holding on to it. Michael, it's been an absolute pleasure, as it always is. We appreciate all of your insights. We look forward to talking to you again at the end of the week. Cheers, brother.
Thank you very much for having me. Talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you soon. All that knowledge, and he's humble about it, and he's not going to just, give you that answer that you want to hear.
Yeah,
what's the point of, what's the value in that? We can always, you never want people to just be telling you what you want to hear. One of my favorite quotes, and I always forget who said this, which is my bad. If you care about somebody, then you tell them what you think. If you don't care about them, or if you care about yourself, then you tell them what they want to hear. at the end of the day. So like to me, it truly, and that's when talking to a stranger, it tells you that Michael actually gives a darn talking to our viewers like we do to give you our actual opinions, and not just tell you, hey, this stock's going to go up because you're long it. No, that's not how it works. Dara, before we get into the rundown, or before we get more into things, I know there's something you said you wanted to do.
Yes. So I did say last week that I was down to do a freestyle rap about the flies, which are still bugging me.
They're still here.
And so, yes, like literally they're circling me. I feel like a corpse. So with that in mind, I will try my best to freestyle about these flies. We don't need a beat. I guess I'm just going to pull a conceited shout out to Wild Note, and I'm going to do this without the beat. But yeah, we're here in the heat. The flies are bugging me, and it is not neat. They're circling around me. I feel like I'm a dead guy. Well, you know what? I'd like to see more dead flies. I keep killing and they keep on flying away. Shoo, shoo, fly. Get out of my headspace. I'm trying to give the news, and they keep buzzing around my head. I don't know what to do. But you know what we do? Trader TV Live. See you tomorrow, guys. Goodbye, flies. 8:30 a.m. sharp. Don't be late.
Holla at your boy. I know we can't end on that. I wanted to mic drop it, but we still have to do roll call.
We do.
Is that cool?
That's very much cool,
She drops
Neil.
bars, and the crazy thing about it, you can't see them because they're fruit flies, but if you have my perspective, they're literally flying around this office still, everybody.
They are. They really are.
Still. If you appreciate that, if you appreciate our entire team, if you appreciate the show, then jump in that chat, fire some ones, get your name in there. Let's get some roll call. Shout it out for Dara. Drop in bars up in here, everybody. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get some roll call. I don't even say anymore. It's all you.
Thank you to our team. Thank you, Obi, with the Tim Westwood in the chat. I don't know about that, but I do think it might have been better than Smoke Perps, Tim Westwood freestyle. So I'll say that for myself. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Sean. Thank you to Sharif. Thank you to Joe. Obi, of course, as mentioned earlier, Brendan, Fabian, Ramin, Andre, and everybody in our chat. Happy Zombie, Raven Starfire. Great name, by the way. James Willis, Mr. King, Explorer, Save Men, Women, Peace, LK, My Two Little Feet, Havana Woody. We got Demetrius Walker, David Treziak, Sean Drake, Hinal Patel, Christopher Jones, Ian Respeto, The Tranquil Channel, John Von Sowers. We've got Relojo Relojes, Mauricio Romano, Chris Diaz, Yorkie, Grov, Sadchev, Derek Thompson, Byron Hart, Jay Haas. We've got Mui Cansado, Susie Fox, Jeffrey B, NYC Urbanista. Thank you guys so much for being here with us every single day. But we're going to be back here tomorrow.
That's what it's all about, man. Where else are you going to see it? Trader TV Live. We're trading open. We're watching the markets, giving you news live like Dara does. And we're going to do it all again through earnings week. Everything you need right back here at 8:30. It's been your market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Can't really top those rhymes, though.
I don't know about that. Thank you, guys.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.